Greetings and salutations. Welcome to this very special event. This is a virtual convention that you are attending from the comfort of your very own home. Welcome to Otherworldly Fundraising. We are benefiting One Simple Wish. It is a virtual convention filled with incredible guests, some wonderful panels, and some very special surprises. I am one of your moderators for this weekend. My name is Ryan of a YouTube channel known as Neuroculture. And I want to let you know that at the 6 p.m. hour on this Friday that you are currently watching or listening to, we would have ghost tours of New Hope, but unfortunately we are having technical difficulties. But we do want to let you know that that panel, that video is available to watch on the Otherworldly Fundraising YouTube channel. It is there. The video you are watching us on right now, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, that video is available to watch on our YouTube channel. So you can check out Ghost Tours of New Hope, led by an incredible group of people, telling you some incredibly wonderful stories featuring ghostly things and things that go bump in the night. And maybe some of them are the other ones who bump back. So check that out. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and share this video with all of your closest friends. In the meantime, we're going to be sharing with you some of the things we're going to be doing this weekend in terms of who we're fundraising for, what our efforts are going towards, and some of the incredible guests that you can expect to see during the course of this weekend, September 8th through the 10th of 2023. Once again, my name is Ryan of Neuroculture, and one of our moderators / people who are working tirelessly behind the scenes. Please welcome Dan Johnson to the stage. Dan, how are you?
I am doing fine, Ryan. Thank you very much. Also, I want to
Awesome.
apologize to the gang folks at New Hope. I am the technical difficulty that kept the video from coming up. I apologize about that. But I have seen the video. It is fantastic. If you get a chance to go to the YouTube channel and check it out, I think you guys are going to love it. It's really super. If it helps, I am in a haunted room. You see a ghost in the corner. Don't react weirdly. It likes to freak people out. So if you see anything in the corner, just ignore it. That's what I do.
This house is clear. Anyway, I got too many scary movies on the brain. It's not even Halloween yet. Go figure. Also, joining us in our efforts to make this event as wonderful as possible, please welcome Steph to the stage. Steph, how are you? Welcome.
Hello.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, awesome. So would you mind sharing with the person who may be watching or listening to this what involvement you have with this incredible event for this weekend? What are you up to?
I am a book blogger who will be interviewing author Denesi Webb tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And also I will be helping behind the scenes all weekend.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. We appreciate you as well as Dan Johnson for being with us during the course of this hour. And for those of you just joining us, this is the Otherworldly fundraiser benefiting One Simple Wish. Now, if you wish to make a donation, you are more than welcome to do so. The link will be scrolling across the bottom of your screen here momentarily. It's also located within the description of this video. So check it out. The link is there. All of our fundraising efforts are benefiting One Simple Wish. They provide resources to all children who are in the foster care system because they believe, and we all here believe, that every child deserves to be loved and cared for. And that is what our fundraising efforts are going towards. So make sure you check out the link in the description of this video, as well as the link is currently scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Now, every donation that is made, especially the $10 or more, you're going to be entered into a special sweepstakes to win some fabulous prizes. It's going to be better than what is known as a showcase showdown on The Price is Right. And once again, rest in peace to the incredible Bob Barker, the OG host of The Price is Right, gone at 99 years old. But you know what? Price is Right. It's going to live on forever with his spirit. So there you go. So there you go, guys. Definitely make a donation. It's for a wonderful charity. One Simple Wish does some incredible things and provides some very important resources to all children of the world. Every donation you make, especially $10 or more, you get into a sweepstakes. So there you go. You can't lose. It's all for a good cause. It's all for wonderful efforts. And we appreciate One Simple Wish for being a part of these festivities. So we do want to let you know that Ghost Tours of New Hope, once again, is available on our YouTube channel. You can stream that right now, or you can stream it a little bit later on. Also, programming note, we got some incredible panels coming up for you for the duration of this Friday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We got the Snyderverse Hour with Darren Kurtz of Oak Valley Media. He wrote a book discussing all the details and the behind the scenes things that went on during the course of Zack Snyder's run within Warner Brothers and the DC cinematic universe. So we're going to be talking about that with him, as well as a few other things during the 7 p.m. Eastern time hour. That is going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to having Darren here on the show. Also, a little bit later on tonight at the 8 o'clock hour, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to have pop culture trivia. That's right, pop culture trivia. It's trivia night, folks, with Ray and Sandra being your hosts, and they're going to have Orfeh and Harada, I hope I'm pronouncing these names right, and Kerry Butler are going to be in on that one. So you do not want to miss out on our Friday night programming. It's going to be a lot of fun. Man, pop culture trivia in the Snyderverse. Woo! Not too many things can top that, folks. Let me tell you, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward. That pop culture trivia, man, it's too bad I'm not competing in that, because depending on what the categories and the questions are, I could really bust some heads, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm just pointing that out. But something I did hear, I heard this on social media, and I want to hear what Steph and Dan Johnson have to say about this. Someone wrote on social media that today is actually a very special day in pop culture history. It is known as Star Trek Day. And for those of you who may be wondering, we are in fact going to have some Star Trek guests during the course of this weekend's Otherworldly Fundraising. Dan Johnson, can you tell us, it's Star Trek Day, what do you do to celebrate that? Or is there anything we can do to celebrate that? Or in your case, what does Star Trek mean to you? I don't know.
Actually, to be honest with you, Ryan, I was excited this morning. It is a 57th anniversary. I was more excited about the fact that That Girl premiered on the very same day as Star Trek. And I celebrated that day for several years. And then somebody said, hey, Star Trek premiered on the same night. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, so what? I learned something new every day. But just kidding. Actually, with Trek, I will admit that I'm a lifelong Star Trek fan. I have been ever since I was a kid. Discovered the original series at a young age, and old enough to remember being there when Next Generation came on the air and the various other shows. For myself, Star Trek Day is basically talking with other fans. I've gone to my Facebook page and I've asked people to share what their favorite Star Trek stories are. Whether it be an episode or a movie or even one of the novels. It's always great because I love watching other fans interact with each other and finding out, hey, I like that episode too, or hey, I like that episode also, and didn't you like it when this happened, or didn't you like that actor? It's just really kind of fun to watch people just geek out over something like Trek. And in all seriousness, Trek is something that I consider to be a cultural milestone for a lot of folks. It's the kind of show that changed the landscape of television. You got to remember, back in the 60s, a lot of television outside of like Twilight Zone and a few dramas were basically escapism. Trek was one of the few shows that really touched on topical issues at the time, social issues, political issues. And it was not only a show that entertained you, but also enlightened you and engaged you. And I'm a little biased being a Star Trek fan, but I would say that most Trek fans are a little bit smarter than the average television watcher, I think.
Boy, that's a bold statement. By the way, Keisha Acuff is here with us. She says, hello, beautiful people. Keisha, great to see you. Hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. Congratulations on the birth of your child there from a few months ago, I think that happened. But congratulations once again, Keisha. We're so happy for you. And give our best to the family out there for sure. We wish them well. I'm just curious, though. Steph, are you familiar with the Trek in the Stars? And if you are, do you have any thoughts on Star Trek Day?
I am familiar with the Trek in the Stars. I have seen a few episodes when I was younger. I am not caught up on like the current shows or anything like that.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Do you have? I mean, I'm just curious. Do you have a favorite? Have you seen any of the movies, or do you know of any of the characters? And if you do you have any favorites that stand out to you? You're still kind of learning as you go.
Yeah, I'm still kind of learning as I go.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, to Dan's point with Star Trek, for me, I only became a Trekkie within the last few years during the lockdown. So for me, I'm still relatively new to the Trek universe. But I will say, favorite Star Trek film is Star Trek First Contact, because Picard is a boss, and the line must be drawn here, this far, no further. and I will make them pay for what they've done, referring to the Bolg. That's what he was referring to. So Picard's my favorite captain. TNG is probably my favorite. Well, I haven't seen the series, but just the movies. But First Contact's my favorite, so I kind of have a little bit of bias there. But of the original Trek stuff, my favorite is actually Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock. Yeah, that's going to surprise some people, I'm sure. But yeah, that's my favorite of the originals. And to me, I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I can't speak for everybody, but
the best way I always looked at it is Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, and Star Trek 4. They're like its own little trilogy. You got your own little trilogy. And I know with Star Trek 3, a lot of people are like, you don't have the action moments with Khan. You don't have the big crisis like in Star Trek 4, but you've got some incredibly great character moments between all the characters. And I love Spock. Spock's a great character, but I think the fact that Nimoy was not in the film but directing it gave an opportunity for folks like DeForest Kelley, Jimmy Doohan, George, Walter, and Nichelle to shine a little bit more. They had to focus on them a little bit more because Spock was not taking center stage with Kirk. And I think it's got the best character moments for what you would consider the background characters.
That's fair. I can definitely see that. And also, having Chris Lloyd as a Klingon doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I find it great that in Star Trek 4 they have to go back to the past, but they still a Klingon bird of prey for Doc Brown Klingon. So you're actually getting a time machine for Doc Brown in number 3 to save the future in Star Trek 4. So.
Wow, yeah. When you put it that way, all he had to do was go 88 miles per hour and see some serious stuff.
Plus, a lot of folks don't realize that John Larroquette is actually the last Klingon standing in Star Trek 3.
Fair point. Another veteran actor who's been around for decades and decades and decades. First time I ever met him professionally was in Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Funny enough. But, well, hey, the bottom line is, Steph, for you and as well as for me and anyone else who's a new-ish fan to what is known as the Star Trek universe, there's a million hours of content for us to chew on. So feel free to watch it. Check it out when you can. If you have a moment to spare, go ahead. There's lots of it. So you're not going to be at a loss for content when it comes to a certain fandom. That is for darn sure. But we've had We've had Star Trek Day. We've also had, oh my gosh, man, you want to talk about something else that's been blowing up the interwebs? Not just the fact that it's what is known as Star Trek Day, but man, Ahsoka has been really turning some heads for Star Wars. I think that series is doing quite well. I've been watching it, and I think it's great. I think the cast is doing really well. Some new up-and-coming actors playing Sabine Wren, and what was it? Shin, the Sith Lord Apprentice. She's doing pretty good. That show is so good. I don't know. Has anyone here, aside from me, has anyone watched any of the newer stuff in Star Wars, or are they just kind of like, they kind of like learning as they go?
I have not had a chance to see any of the Ahsoka, but I want to. It's looking really good. The clips I've seen. I'm a little behind on watching shows. I was able to catch Mandalorian season 3, and I'm a huge Mando fan. I always tell people Grogu is my spirit animal. He likes to eat. He likes to sleep. Hey, I'm down with that. But no, I have heard some great things about Ahsoka. I am looking forward to catching up on it. Interesting. If anyone's out there, if you're wondering about checking out some of the Star Wars shows, I understand Disney is doing a special where you can actually sign up for $1.99 for 3 months. So you can actually catch Ahsoka and the other Star Wars shows fairly cheap. So that's your financial tip for the day.
Wow. So much for bidding $1, Bob, on that prize of the actual retail price. I'm just kidding. Once again, for those of you just joining us, this is Otherworldly Fundraising benefiting One Simple Wish. This is an incredible event where we're going to have a great lineup of guests featuring celebrities, authors, as well as other things. The video we were supposed to have for you at the 6 p.m. Eastern Time hour on Friday is uploaded to our YouTube channel, Otherworldly Fundraising. Ghost Tours of New Hope. You can check it out there. Wonderful group of people put that together. And we want to say once again, thank you to that incredible group of Ghost Tours of New Hope. At the 7 o'clock hour, I want to remind you, for those of you tuning in just now, we got the Snyderverse Hour with Darren Kurtz of Oak Valley Media, wrote a best-selling book discussing all the details of the behind-the-scenes stuff that went on during the Zack Snyder DC Cinematic Universe era. Over there at Warner Brothers is going to be at the 7 p.m. hour. And then following that, at the 8 p.m. hour, we're going to have Pop Culture Trivia hosted by Ray and Sandra, and they're going to have Orfeh and Harada and Kerry Butler on for Pop Culture Trivia. So who's going to walk away the winner? Who's going to walk away the world champion? You know, something like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and that will conclude our Friday, September the 8th programming for that portion of this weekend, and then we're going to kick back off tomorrow on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be moderating the first panel of the day with a gentleman by the name of Phil Morris. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, one of the biggest fish in the sea. Also known for playing the greatest lawyer in the history of sitcoms, Jackie Childs on Seinfeld. He played Martian Manhunter / John Jones on the hit TV series Smallville, my favorite show of all time. It's the two S's, ladies and gentlemen. The Seinfelds and the Smallvilles coming together. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And we're looking forward to having Phil Morris here on Otherworldly Fundraising. That's going to be on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So tune in for that because we're excited. I don't know if you are, but
I'm excited. And I did want to say, tying in the Star Trek Day, Phil Morris actually got a start on an episode of Star Trek. If you've ever seen the episode Miri, the classic series, for folks who don't know, Phil's dad was Greg Morris, who was on Mission Impossible, which was also shot by Desilu in Paramount. And the episode Miri, Shatner, Grace Lee Whitney, and several of the crew members behind the scenes, not the Enterprise crew members, but the folks that helped produce Star Trek, actually had their children play extras in this episode, which involved a lot of young kids. And Greg, his dad, actually let him have a part in this. So again, tying into Star Trek Day, you got Greg Morris, who got started on Trek, and of course has done other Trek episodes since then too. So hey. You see, we're thinking ahead for Star Trek Day. The day after, we got Star Trek guests, so there you go.
In the words of the PSAs from the olden times, the more you know. Once again, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. We got a great lineup of people here for you this weekend, and our fundraising efforts are going towards One Simple Wish. They provide resources to children in the foster care system and around the country, around the world. So definitely check them out. Make a donation today because every $10 that you donate gets you entered into the sweepstakes to win some incredible prizes. So definitely check that out. Check out the link. It's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's also located within the description of this video, so make sure you check that out as well. Do greatly appreciate that. And Joan Marie Teresa says, interesting. Well, what is interesting? The fact that we're having so much fun talking about the great lineup of incredible people we have for you this weekend, or the fact that you're seeing three wonderful faces on your screen? I'm not sure, but you let us know in the chat. Be curious to hear your thoughts there, Joan, and thank you for being here, I must say. Good heavens.
I do need to clarify, you're seeing two wonderful faces in mine. So I apologize for everybody out there. That's all I got to work with. I apologize.
I'm just, okay. Someone's got jokes. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
But now, speaking of jokes, going back to Trek again, we also need to mention Dwight Schultz, Barclay from Next Generation, as well as First Contact and Voyager. And of course, he was comedy relief on the A-Team as Howling Man Murdoch. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun for sure, 100%. And the other thing I'm looking forward to is raising as much money as we possibly can for this fundraising efforts towards One Simple Wish. That is one of the things I'm looking forward to the most, because we have a goal in mind. I think we want to surpass that goal. We want to overachieve that. So every little bit helps, as someone once said. So definitely check out all of the information and also the link to where you can find out more about this fundraiser and some of the other wonderful guests we're going to be having for you over the course of this weekend are located in the description below. It's also, when you go to the website, it's all listed there. You can find out more about who we are, why we're doing this, and why it means so much to so many different people. So we appreciate you joining us, whether you're joining us live or on the replay. We thank you so much for being with us, and we hope you are enjoying these programming hours, I should say, because it's Friday night. Friday night, what do they call it? TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday.
Yes.
There's no better way to wrap up your week than with an incredible 3-day Friday, Saturday, Sunday affair of wonderful panels with incredible authors. We got some really, I mean, Darren Kurtz is one of them. Steph, you mentioned an author who's going to be with us. I mean, my gosh, who are some of the other authors that we're going to be having on this weekend? Steph, do you know some of the other names we have here for us?
I know that I have Dinesty Webb tomorrow.
Well, that's fantastic, and we look forward to seeing that. We wish you the best with that panel during the course of that hour, and we hope that you, who may be watching or listening to this right now, tune in for that, because that's going to be a blast and excuse me, a lot of fun. That's what I would say about that. Gee whiz, where are my words? So,
but I did want to say we also have Victoria Price. I'll actually be interviewing her tomorrow night at 7. For folks who don't know, Victoria is actually the daughter of Vincent Price, the legendary horror icon. But she's actually also a motivational speaker, and she's actually written 2 books, including a biography of her father, which I have read, and it's an amazing tale. She gives some great insights into his career and the man himself. And of course, I'm a huge Vincent Price fan. And trivia: Vincent Price was never on Star Trek, which is a pity because he'd been great.
That's interesting. You know, another great treat we have for you this weekend is Trina Robbins. You want to talk about comic books? Let's talk about comic books here for a minute and how important they are to society. Trina Robbins is going to be on with us. You know what's really great about her is that she was the first woman ever, and I mean ever, in the history of comic books to write or be a part of the creative team over there at DC for Wonder Woman. That's right. Yeah, that's a huge deal. That's big. Not many people, she's first woman to professionally draw Wonder Woman in the comics, and she is going to be with us during the course of this week. As a matter of fact, she'll be with us on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and boy, oh boy, that is going to be a lot of fun. Learning from the master. Oh my goodness. Comic books. If you get a chance, you should go out and check out some of these comic books that have artwork drawn or put together by Trina Robbins, because it's a wonderful treat to have her here with us this weekend. See what I did there? You're welcome. So I'm just curious, do you have a favorite Wonder Woman story in the comics, Dan, that stands out to you?
I'll be honest, I'm not really as big a fan of the comics as I am the other media. I'm a huge fan of Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, of course. The TV series is fantastic. I thought Gal Gadot's first movie was probably the best film in the DC universe, I think. And I think it's actually one of the better superhero films that's been made since things have really gotten rolling in like early 2000 with X-Men. Of course, then again, Patty Jenkins said that she kind of followed Richard Donner's blueprint for Superman the movie, so you can't go wrong doing that. Plus, also, I'm a huge fan of the portrayal in Justice League, the animated series. I thought that really dwelled into the character very nicely and really gave some new wrinkles to the character's mythos. So, but comics-wise, if I had to pick one, I'd say George Perez. George Perez did a reboot of the character in the late 80s and did a superb job. And unfortunately, George didn't stick on the comic as long as he should have. But if you get a chance to, I know since his passing, they re-released that series several times. And if you can find it in trade or an omnibus, I highly recommend it.
That's a fair point. Anything stand out to you about the character known as Wonder Woman within the comic realm there, Steph?
I don't really read the comic books as much as I should, but I did enjoy the most recent movies.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Oh, I was handed a note here by one of our executive producers of this wonderful weekend that we have here at Otherworldly Fundraising. Our current total right now for fundraising is $565, which is great. That's fantastic. Yes. But you know what they say, right? Every little bit helps. So if you are able to make a donation or share the link that we have for you that is located within the description of this broadcast, please do so. Share that on your social media. Tell all your friends about it, because the more money we raise, the more resources that One Simple Wish is going to be able to provide to the foster care kids of the world. So definitely check them out. If you want to know more about One Simple Wish and what they're all about, there is a link for that located within the description below. So make sure you check that out as well. Oh man, so many wonderful things. We got everything from books to comic books to people who have performed in other forms of different kinds of media. It's incredible what we have here. Guy Gilchrist, for Pete's sake, is going to be joining us. He's an artist, and boy, oh boy, does Guy Gilchrist have some wonderful stories he's going to be sharing with us during the course of this weekend. And man, we can't talk about certain properties, but it's cool that Guy Gilchrist is going to be here because I'm sure he's got wonderful things to share with us. And he's going to be taking your questions too. And also, we want to give you another programming note here. During the course of this weekend for Otherworldly Fundraising and during these panels, we encourage you to interact with the people who we have as our guests. But due to the situations that are going on in Tinseltown, USA, with the WGA and the SAG after strikes, we cannot talk about past, present, or future projects. So this is a chance for us to get to know our guests on a bit of a different and deeper level. So if you are going to ask them a question, please make sure it is not about past, present, or future projects that they have been a part of or they are associated with. We are doing that out of respect to what's going on with the WGA and the SAG after strikes. So quick programming note, just want to give you all a heads up about that ahead of time. And don't worry, that is listed on our website, and our producers and moderators will be echoing those sentiments as we go throughout the course of this weekend. We wish everyone the best with what's going on. We hope it gets resolved in a respectable manner. But in the meantime, we are going to have some great guests, and we're going to have some trivia. We're going to have authors, we're going to have artists, we're going to have people from all different walks of life. And we're excited to do that and put this on for you. You can join us from the comfort of your own home if you're in the office over the weekend, which I don't think you should be, because no one should have to work on a Saturday or Sunday, personally, in my opinion. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I'm just throwing that out there. But lots of great people are going to be with us, and we are so uber, I should say, excited to have them here with us. Dan, is there any, without listing too many of their credits, just mention names, if you will. Any other names you're looking forward to hearing from during the course of this weekend?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Penny Johnson Gerard, who, of course, was on Deep Space Nine and also the Orville. I'm looking forward to hearing from her. Let's see. I am looking forward to listening to John Shea, Lex Luthor from Lois and Clark, and April Bowlby, I think it's pronounced Bowlby, who was on 2.5 Men, but also Doom Patrol.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Absolutely, absolutely. Steph, any other names you're looking forward to seeing during the course of this weekend that excite you more than the panel you're going to be moderating?
I have to say that for me, the pop culture trivia hour tonight, the Trina Robinson panel tomorrow, and our last panel, like Dan was just saying, the April panel.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff.
I will admit, I wish I could ask her some questions because, like I said, you see her on 2.5 Men, then you see her on Doom Patrol, and it's like a totally different actress. I mean, it's amazing seeing that. But of course, I did want to stress that this is an opportunity. If you want to ask a question of our celebrities, if you go to a con, you're going to get the same questions over and over again. What was it like working with this person? What was it like doing this show? Yada, yada, yada. This is your chance to get a little bit personal with them. This is an opportunity to ask them some questions outside the box that maybe they have never heard before. What got them into acting? What drives them to do what they do? Who are their inspirations? So again, if you're watching this and you're getting your questions ready, start thinking outside the box. In fact, make it a challenge. Give them a question that's going to make them stop and think, you know what? No one's ever asked me that before. That is your goal for this weekend. Not to stump them, not to make them look foolish, but just to make them stop and think and make this the most engaging conversation they've ever had. We want them walking away saying, you know what? I want to come back to the show. You know why? Because they had the best audience. They had the audience that made me stop and think, and you know what? They brought up some good memories for me, and you know what? I'm going to tell my friends. They're going to come back for next year. They're going to tell their friends. So we can make this even bigger and better.
Well said. Well said. And, you know, yeah, we're going to get to know them on somewhat of a different level. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's the important thing. But I am curious, though, Dan, if you were stranded on a deserted island, you can only have 3 books with you to read for the duration of your stay on that deserted island. What 3 books would you have and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I honestly don't know if I could get in the head. I would say probably Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes, just because that was my personal favorite of his growing up as a child. I would probably say Marvel Masterworks Spider-Man Volume 1, which collects the first appearance of Spider-Man and the first 10 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man comic book, only because, in my personal opinion, the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko run of Spider-Man is probably the most perfect run of any comic book series of all time. And that's saying a lot considering the fact that I'm a DC boy. Outside of that, I would say dictionary. Just because, well, as a challenge, as an English major, it's always kind of fun to learn new words. And I figure if you're on a deserted island, you got nothing else to do, learn a new word each day. See if you can actually get to the dictionary before a rescue crew shows up.
Wow, that's my goodness, that's a bold choice. I'm just curious though, Steph. What about you? 3 books. You're stranded on a deserted island. What 3 books are you gonna have with you there, Steph?
Yeah, I was thinking about that as you were asking, Dan. I have to say, one would be A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, because it was my introduction to young adult fantasy, and like one of the reasons why I fell in love with the genre. Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, because it was my introduction to the sci-fi genre in a way, and I really love that book. And Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albert Halley, because that was one of the first queer YA books I read, and I really felt seeing, like, having a teenager go through those feelings.
All right. Wow, we got some interesting choices here from our 2 panelists. For me, it would be DC's Kingdom Come, because that's the book that got me into comics, and Mark Waid and Alex Ross are a boss, especially when they work together. So DC's Kingdom Come would be one of them. I think a second one would be Master and Apprentice, which is a Star Wars novel. It's a standalone novel written by Claudia Gray. Tells the story of the early relationship between Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi before Episode 1, the Phantom Menace. And it's a great book. Claudia Gray is a great writer. I think she's wonderful. So if you ever get a chance to read that, please do. Kingdom Come, that's another one. Read that. That's, man, the artwork alone. Woo! Alex Ross is a boss. Anyway, so that's 2. I'm trying to think of a third one. Gosh, that's kind of tough because, you know what? I'm gonna go with Snow. Snow Series 1, Volume 1, because it's in volumes and stuff, and I don't want to be one of those guys who like cheats at his own game and like puts all 3 series or 3 volumes together. Sorry, Bobby, but just telling you. So Snow Series 1, Volume 1. Now, for those of you who don't know what Snow is a series written by Bobby Nash. You can find out more at bobbynash.com. And it's a crime thriller about a guy whose name just happens to be Abraham Snow, who was a spy, and his cover got blown, and he was shot, and the bullet missed his heart by like this much, by like a 1/4 inch from his heart. So he almost died, but he manages to live. But because of his injury, the service says, hey, you're no longer an undercover operative. It's too risky. You're done. They basically force him into retirement. And Abraham Snow eventually becomes what is known as a private eye, and he goes out and solves cases in his town of Summersville, Georgia. So if you're into crime thrillers, if you like kind of a, spy thriller type crime noir, or not noir, but action crime drama type stuff, check out Snow by Bobby Nash at www.bobbynash.com. Great. Or I think actually, you know what? You can also check out the series itself on its standalone website. If you go to abrahamsnow.com, you can find out more there. That is a great series. It's my current favorite series. I think Abraham Snow is a great character. I think Bobby Nash is doing a great job of writing him. So definitely check it out. And Bobby Nash is an indie author. So if you get a chance, support the indie authors out there. There's a lot of great people out there. There's a lot of a lot of good names, a lot of big names. So take a look at that. And then Joan Marie Teresa says, this is just your warm-up, guys, during this first hour of programming. Thanks, Joan. You haven't noticed, have you? You've noticed. Okay. And then, gosh. Kristen Marie, I wonder who that could be. Oh, yes. Pay no attention to that wizard behind the curtain. Kristen Marie says, The Ordinary Princess, The Courtship of Princess Leia, and The Great Gatsby are the 3 books she would have with her if she were stranded on what is known as a deserted island. Wow. Is The Ordinary Princess a Leia thing, or is that something else? I'm not sure. But The Courtship of Princess Leia, that's kind of a giveaway. The Great Gatsby, written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people called that for the time the Great American Novel. Am I the only one who remembers that from high school? Okay.
No. It definitely was one of the novels that changed literature in the
for that point.
Time period, certain, yeah.
Yeah, Roaring 20s. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Good. Trying to think. Yeah, that was in high school. I'm trying to think what grade I was in when we read that. Was that junior year? Maybe junior year of high school, if not sophomore year. Good Lord. That's going back a while.
I was going to say, a lot of folks don't realize that that actually he was getting ready to write a prequel to that before he died. It was going to be called The Not So Great. It was going to be the Not So Great Gatsby, but it didn't come.
Ooh.
I kid. That's a joke. I'm sorry. That's a joke. I'm sorry.
No. Okay. I was going to say, like, if that was real, I would have liked to have read that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Once again, we are here for Otherworldly Fundraising. Our fundraising efforts are benefiting one simple wish. If you make a donation, you do so. The links are located within the description below of this video. And also, every $10 that you donate, you get entered into a sweepstakes to win some fabulous, and I do mean fabulous prizes, Bob. So definitely check out the link. It's in the description below. We're going to have it scrolling across the bottom of our screen during the course of this weekend. Got a great lineup of people here, from people who have written books to people who have written or drawn for the Wonder Woman comic. I mean, Trina Robbins, man, that's huge. So she's going to be joining us. I mean, it's such a great lineup. People like Guy Gilchrist and John Shea, so many wonderful other individuals are going to be here with us this weekend. So don't miss out, because we have tonight, we have Saturday starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And then we do it all over again on Sunday as well. So there you go. Oh, and by the way, Kristen Marie chimes in. She says, Ordinary Princess is by MMK. It's about Sleeping Beauty's descendants. Oh, my.
Nice.
Oh, my. Sleeping Beauty had descendants? Huh.
Is that a sleeper hit, or is that a sleeper hit, or?
I see what you did there. But thank you for clarifying that for us, Kristen. Do really appreciate that. And if you're just joining us, don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know, because we got a great lineup here for you tonight. It's Friday. We're going to go out with a bang. So at 7 o'clock, we got the Snyderverse Hour with Darren Kurtz of Oak Valley Media. Hope I'm pronouncing that last name right there for you, Darren. And then at 8 o'clock, we got the pop culture trivia hour with Ray and Sandra. They're going to be joined by Orfeh and Harada and Kerry Butler. So that is what we have in store for you as far as programming for the duration of this evening, known as Friday. Because TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday. Goodness gracious. And then to give you a little bit of background, there it is right there. One Simple Wish. It's this weekend, September 8th through the 10th. We are very excited to be here. We hope you are enjoying this first hour of programming on the Friday night, as we do have Ghost Tours of New Hope. That video is indeed on our YouTube channel, known as Otherworldly Fundraising. You can find that on the channel and things like that. Chime in on it, like it, share that video. Tell the people of New Hope that you enjoyed the video, and we thank them for assembling a team and putting that video together for us. It is available to stream on our YouTube channel. So there you go. You can check it out there. Don't even have to pay a nickel or a dime for it. Hey, just throwing that out there. Let it rain.
Ryan, I hope you don't mind. I did want to say one thing.
Yes.
I'm going to warn folks over the weekend that, as you can probably tell, I love the joke. The jokes are not always great, but they're going to be free, so you can't argue about that. I also pun. I'll try to give you a trigger warning before I start punning. But I did want to say one thing. On a serious note, One Simple Wish. It is something that is worth looking into, and it is something worth supporting. The name is not misleading. If you look at some of the wishes that some of these kids want, kids are in foster care, the kids have gone through these childhood traumas, some of the wishes are very simple. There are kids that are just asking for things like bathroom hygiene products so they can go to school or go to work, or kids are looking, they just need new clothes for school. These are not expensive wishes on these kids. There are some as cheap as like $10, $20. So the thing is, if you make a donation of $10, $20, even $30, you could actually fulfill the wish of one of these kids. And like I said, I mean, they're not asking for the world. They're just asking for the little things that make childhood enjoyable, but also tolerable. So please, by all means, look at the website, look at what some of these kids are asking for, and just realize the entries is great. Like I said, if you win a prize, it's fantastic. But anyone who donates is going to be a big winner because you're going to be changing the life of a kid, I think. And you're going to be making the kid a little bit happy. And you got an opportunity to be a ray of light at a time when they're probably at their darkest moment. So please, in all seriousness, donate if you can. From now on, it's going to be nothing but jokes and puns. So you've been warned.
Oh, I can't add anything else to that. And thank you for sharing that with us here, Dan Johnson. Do greatly appreciate it. So, we've talked about being stranded on what is known as a desert island with 3 books. That's interesting. Stranded on a desert island. Well, I'll tell you what. If we talked about being stranded on desert islands, but let's talk about the books here for a minute here. Because if there's a universe or a town or a realm that is located within a book and you had to be stuck there forever, which realm or what setting that is featured within a book, strictly a book, where'd you want to be stranded in, Steph? Since I know you're a big book fan, so I'm just curious, if you could be living in a realm of somewhere, whether it's in a fantasy book or otherwise, where would you want to be in?
I would have to say the Autumn Court from Sarah J. Maas's The Court of Thorns and Roses series.
Okay, all right. I like that. I can get with that. What about you, Dan? If you could be stranded in a town that's, in a fictional book or a realm that's in a fantasy book, whatever it is, just fiction, speaking strictly of a book, where would you want to be stranded in?
Ooh, good question. I would probably go the Japan of My Hero Academia. I love superheroes to begin with, and I also love the idea of a superpowered society. And I will say, My Hero Academia, if anybody has never read the manga, it's probably the best. If you're on the fence about getting into manga, it's the book that if you love Western comics, it's probably the best one, your best introduction to manga, I think. It's the one that got me into the rabbit hole, so.
Oh, I gotcha. For me, if I were going to be stranded somewhere I wouldn't trouble happens everywhere, but I'm okay being in Summersville, Georgia, the universe where the Snow series takes place, because there's always going to be a new adventure that you're going to be involved in at some point or another. So if I get caught up with working with Abraham Snow and his family at Snow Securities, I don't mind that. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. That's just that's just my 2 cents, but hey, what are you going to do? That's what I would say about that. So with that being said, here's something interesting for you. And by the way, for those of you helping us out in the backstage area, we appreciate you doing so, whether it's Kristen or otherwise. And our guest, who's going to be joining us within the next hour, but we'll get to that later. Before we get to that, Dan, was there something you asked for repeatedly as a child, but you were always told no?
Ooh. Actually, no. I was a very simple kid. Actually, very simple man. Simple describes me the best, I think. No, I'm just kidding. If I had to say something I really wanted and didn't get, I was of an age where Mego was very big. Mego, of course, did the best line of superhero figures. They did Star Trek figures, Planet of the Apes figures, and they were all the same size. So you could actually have Star Trek characters crossing over with superheroes, or superheroes crossing over with Planet of the Apes. It was fantastic, and they did lines for all these different TV series and movies. They also did a line for Teen Titans, Flash, Kid Flash, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, and Speedy, and they came in about the same time I was reading comic books. And my dad's rule was that you could buy one thing, but you had to choose. You could buy a toy or buy comics. and I always wanted the comics. So that was the one thing I asked for that I never got. But it was a good trade. I wouldn't trade it because, like I said, I had the comics, so I got to live a multitude of adventures.
Wow. Okay, man. I'm digging this. This is a good question. Steph, I'm just curious. Was there something you asked for repeatedly as a youngling, a child, but you were always told no?
I have to say a dog for this one. My sister and I did like a lot of activities and both of our parents worked, so nobody would have been home a lot to watch the dog. So that's why we never had one, but we kept asking for one.
You know, I don't know if I was told repeatedly no, but I did ask a few times, but not like a whole lot when I was a kid. I think it was one of the Power Ranger toys when I was growing up. It was one of the Megazords, I think, and I just couldn't get it. Maybe it was this, because I had the Saba sword, but I don't remember having the Blade Blaster. So maybe it was the Blade Blaster, one of the Megazords, because I grew up on Power Rangers in the 90s because I'm a 90s kid. Hashtag the 90s are great. And yeah, that was probably the toy I got said no to. I think it was that. It was either that or one or the other. I can't remember exactly. But hey, what are you going to do? How about here's another one for you, and I'll go first on this. I'll give a moment for our panelists, known as Dan and Steph, to take a moment here to think about it. Would you rather? This is a would you rather type question, and this goes to you who may be watching or listening to this. Once again, this is Otherworldly Fundraising, benefiting one simple wish. If you make a donation, especially if it's $10 or more, you get entered into a sweepstakes to win some incredible prizes. Links are located within the description below, and they're also currently scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. With that being said, would you rather have a cool boss and learn absolutely nothing, or a strict boss who you learn from? Now, for me, I would rather have a cool boss and learn nothing, because for me, I can learn stuff on my own. So that's how I would go about it. I can't speak for everybody, but that's just my 2 cents. Dan Johnson, would you rather have a cool boss and learn absolutely nothing, or a strict boss who you learn from?
I'm going to go based on my own real world experience. I'd rather have a strict boss that I learn from than the cool boss I learn nothing from. Because usually when you don't learn anything from the cool boss, something eventually goes wrong, and the cool boss is usually the first one to say, hey, you know what? Johnson did it. Johnson didn't learn. Johnson doesn't know what he was doing. The strict boss, on the other hand, is like, well, if you didn't learn, it was my fault because obviously I didn't do a good enough job teaching you. So, yeah, you screwed up, but I got to take some of the blame too. I think sometimes you get somebody who's a taskmaster, somebody a little bit of a hard ass. When push comes to shove, they're going to be more willing to take some of the blame, and they're not just going to find excuses. Because sometimes cool bosses find excuses. They find reasons not to take responsibility. That's what makes them cool. But somebody has to be the adult. Somebody has to be the daddy or the mommy. And yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go with strict boss that you learn from.
Okay. All right. Respect. Steph, what about you? Would you rather have cool boss you learn nothing from, or a strict boss who you learn from? What do you think?
I would have to say, like for me, I would want the strict boss that I learned from, because as I'm one of those people that just really likes learning everything I can, especially if I had a job that was like in my fields of interests. I would like to learn everything I can about doing things about like being the boss of that company, or like anything I can about doing things in that industry.
Sounds good. Yeah. No, I think a strict boss is going to be more willing to show you the ropes. And like I said, sometimes the cool boss is like, yeah, we'll do it later. Wait till tomorrow. And like I said, eventually stuff's going to hit the fan, and it's going to get on you as well as them. So I agree. I think we lost Ryan. So Steph, I think you're in charge now. You run the ship. You got to give us orders. What's your order? I'm teasing. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. I think Ryan's gonna be back in just a little bit. But yes, please, by all means, everyone out there is watching, please tune in this weekend. If you've got media accounts, if you got Facebook accounts, you got Instagram, you got Twitter, share our links. Let people know this is going on. Let them know it's totally free. Even if you don't donate anything, you could still tune in and watch the interviews and have a great time. I'm pretty sure I'm going to drop an F-bomb at some point. So, hey, you can be around for that. That's going to be entertaining. I'm probably going to get chewed down on live on the air. So you want to stick around for that. Run a poll. How soon is Dan going to get chewed out live on screen? And then take part of that money and donate to One Simple Wish. Because like I said, it's a worthy cause.
That is 100% true. See, I almost said a number that doesn't exist, but I'm not going to pull that one yet. Not just yet. Not yet. But and thank you.
I'm going to show up this weekend. So
okay. Well, you want to listen. You want to keep boosting your numbers. You go right ahead. I don't have a problem with that. But with that being said, once again, this is going to be a great, wonderful weekend. We've got a wonderful team working very hard behind the scenes, in front of the camera. A great lineup of people who are going to be here with us. They come from all walks of life, and we're doing this to benefit One Simple Wish, and it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And we thank you for being with us. So this has been a lot of fun so far. So to proceed with Friday night. So Dan Johnson, what are most people afraid of that doesn't scare you one bit?
Being on camera. I am totally fearless when it comes to being on camera, because I know a lot of folks are a little hesitant to get out there and put themselves in front of an audience. And as you can tell, I don't mind looking like an idiot. I figure, hey, I'm your jester. I'm here to amuse you guys. I don't care if you're laughing. As long as you're donating money, that's all that matters to me.
Wow. Okay, man of few words. Steph, what about you? What are most people afraid of that simply doesn't scare you, Steph? Could be anything.
You got to remember, she's in the past, so it'll take a moment or two. So.
Bugs. I feel like there are people out there that are afraid of bugs, but most bugs don't really get me.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's, hey, all good. No problem there. So, and as we're coming towards the top of the hour here, we're getting ready for our next panel and our next presenter. So with that being said, Dan Johnson, what do you do on a Friday night for a guy's night out on a Friday night? What would you guys normally be doing?
Oh gosh, that's the thing. I don't do night out that much anymore. I am primarily a writer. I do comic books. I do magazine articles. I do film reviews. Honestly, I don't have a lot of free time. But if I was going to do anything, it would probably be watching old horror movies or old television shows.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with binge watching. Steph, what would you normally be doing on a Friday night? Is it a girls' night out with your fellow, your friends, or are you doing something else on Friday nights? What do you normally do?
Normally, I will go out to dinner with my parents, or I don't really get out all that much. Like Dan said, I'm also a writer, but most Friday nights I end up watching I just end up like watching TV.
All right, nothing wrong with binge watching. I mean, for me, a typical Friday night would be either, depending on what the schedule is, I may be hosting or producing a podcast with some friends of mine, whether it's this one or something else, or I may be sitting back at home watching some television. In this case, I'm in the process. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to know any spoilers about this. But I am watching a certain movie. I'm not going to name it because, like I said, I want to do it out of respect of what's going on in Tinseltown. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends, and it's got a great cast behind it, so looking forward to seeing how that goes. But, hey, that's just me. Well, hey, here's a question for you who may be watching or listening to this. What do you typically do on a Friday night other than enjoying the wonderful festivities known as Otherworldly Fundraising on YouTube and Facebook? I'm just curious. What would you normally do for a Friday night? Do you go out with friends? Do you go out with family? Do you go out with coworkers? Do you, sit at home and binge watch something? I don't know. Just feel free to let us know in the comments. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that. Maybe maybe you're reading a book. Because there's nothing wrong with being a bookworm and reading, on a Friday night. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. I find that life is better when reading, but that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to both Dan Johnson and Steph for joining us for this first hour of Otherworldly Fundraising for Friday night during the 6 p.m. hour. Dan, Steph, thank you so much for being here. I wish you both the best. Look forward to seeing some of the other wonderful things you're going to be doing for us this weekend, whether it's working behind the scenes or moderating panels. So, Dan, thank you for being here. And Steph, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, okay?
Thanks, Ryan. See you guys.
Have a good one, guys. Thank those two for being here. They are a great group of people, and they are wonderful, and they're going to be doing even more incredible things during the course of this weekend. Once again, this is Otherworldly Fundraising. Our fundraising efforts are benefiting one simple wish. Link to donate is located within the description below. And every $10 donation gets you entered into a sweepstakes to win some incredible prizes. And there's some really, really good things involved with that. We want to thank all the people who worked behind the scenes to help put this event together, including the wonderful people over there at One Simple Wish. Well, we've come to the end of the 6 o'clock hour, and we are getting ready to go into what is known as the 7 o'clock hour. And just to give you guys a heads up of what is to come, we got the Snyderverse coming up right here in just a moment at 7 p.m. And at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, we're going to have the Pop Culture Trivia Hour with Ray and Sandra. They're going to have Orfeh and Harada and Kerry Butler are going to be joining us for that during the 8 p.m. hour. But guess what? Drum roll, please. It's 7 o'clock. You know what that means? It's the Snyderverse Hour. And hey, I came prepared for this. I'm wearing the right suit. Please welcome a best-selling writer and the gentleman and a scholar who is more than happy to talk about all the stuff that went on behind those curtains, that went on behind closed doors, that we haven't been privy to during the DC Cinematic Universe era led by Zack Snyder. Please welcome Darren Kurtz to the stage. Darren, welcome. How are you, good sir?
Thank you for having me. Doing well. How are you?
Oh, I couldn't be better. I'm doing super, if you know what I'm saying.
So same here.
Yeah, baby. There it is. That's what I thought, brother.
Yep.
Yeah. Superman's number one. So for those of you who just joined us, if you have any questions for Darren or have any questions about what we're going to be doing during the course of this weekend, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Our producer is going to be monitoring it as we go throughout the course of this weekend's programming. And don't forget to like and share this with all of your closest friends, because they're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to this. Gee willikers, I guarantee it. And by the way, Sandra O chimes in. She says, thanks for that segment you guys just did. It was a great discussion. I foster cats, so every night is busy, and I love this event. Well, thank you, Sandra O, for being here. We appreciate that. We really, really do. So, excuse me, goodness gracious, so much is going on, so little time. Darren, I'm going to ask you something here. What were some of your favorite books or writers growing up for you?
Oh, that's a great question. For me, growing up, I was a big sports nut, so I read a lot of Matt Christopher books, and those ones are really near and dear to my heart. But I mean, I read all kinds of books. I mean, I read all kinds of nonfiction books. I read series like The Boxcar Children, pretty much like Harry Potter, you name it. I read all the big major series. I like to read as a kid, and like right now, I also work in education, so that's part of me giving back as well. It had that kind of profound effect on me, so it's kind of carried over into my adult life as well.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I remember Boxcar Children. I remember going to my Scholastic book fairs when we were in school. Yeah, seeing those books across the shelves. You remember those days, man? You had to pick out the catalog and circle the ones you want your parents to buy for you, and half of them you wouldn't even read.
Yep.
Those are some good times, man. Good times. So when did you start reading comic books? When did that start?
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't start reading comic books till I was older. I mean, I spent a lot of my time as a kid kind of watching like for example, Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, stuff like that, and even someone like the Christopher Reeve Superman movies and like Batman Forever. I watched that one over and over as a kid. So I watched stuff more than I read, I would say, back then in terms of comic books. But as I got older, then I started to kind of dive into that world more, and just it kind of made it more of a complete experience at that point.
Nice list there. I feel like you and I were in the same era because you're mentioning a lot of the names that I grew up watching as
Yeah.
well. Oh man, you gotta love the '90s. They were excellent. So that's really good stuff. And what would you say were some of your? And I'm just curious. Any favorite comic book based outside of the TV series you mentioned? Any favorite comic book based movies that stand out to you?
Just in general over like growing up or
Well, yeah, whether it's growing up, past, present, either one.
yeah, that's so obviously, of course, the Snyderverse, right? I mean, that was kind of important to me. I was a big fan of that. But I mean, Batman and Superman have always been my two favorite characters, and seeing them evolve and transform over the years on screen has been really fascinating. Like I mentioned, I grew up with Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Michael Keaton Batman, Val Kilmer Batman, even the Batman and Robin. I watched that as a kid. I don't think I could watch that now, but I did back then, I guess. But no, I mean, I would say ones that are really important to me. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say the DC ones have always been near and dear to my heart, and that's kind of what's always resonated with me. So, like, in more recently, I would say Man of Steel, uh, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So,
Rock on, man. Rock on. And we have some people here in the chat. They are chiming in. Chris Marie says, I remember, what was it? Matt Christopher, I think was a series of books that she read when she was a child, something like that. That
mhm.
name sounds vaguely, I think I heard that before, vaguely familiar. Can't remember. Might have to Google that later. She goes on to say, Batman Forever was the second movie I ever saw more than once in the theater back in 1995.
Nice.
Wow, I remember watching that on VHS as a kid. Good Lord. We're dating ourselves, but hey, age
Yeah.
is a bloody number. So, this book that you wrote discussing the Snyderverse, talk us through the process. What was it like putting that together?
Yeah. So, back when I was first kind of coming up with this idea, it was back, after this was after everything that happened with uh Batman v Superman and then with Justice League, right? And how that version came out in theaters and it's, infamously called Justice League because Joss Whedon was the one who helmed everything with that cut of the movie. And then, you know, of course, a lot of fans were like, "That's not the movie they promised us." And there's this whole other movie sitting out there that's, shot and already mostly kind of done. You know, depending upon which version you're talking about, whether that's the 3 hour cut or the 4 hour cut. So in the LRs, the fandom was really, pushing creative ways of, you know, getting Warner Brothers on board with releasing Zach's version of Justice League, right? And I was so fascinated with like how all the amazing things that were happening with, of course there were a lot of people seem to, and maybe it's a good time to talk about this too. When it comes to the fandom, a lot of people on the outside kind of characterize and summarize the fandom by the negative aspect of it, by the people who chose the negative way of going about it and like harassing people online. When in actuality, it's kind of like I wish people wouldn't judge the whole fandom just by those people because it's so much more than that, and it's so much more beautiful than that. What we've done, and we've raised over $1 million now for American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which is so incredible. And yes, and of course we're also in this for Zach and Debbie and their movie, and it just so back then there was a lot of really cool things happening. Like the Nerd Queens had Justice Con, and that was also helping raise funds for AFSP, and had panels from people in the movie and Zach himself. So that was really cool. And there's banners being flown over like Burbank and with the release the Snyder Cut, right? Hashtag release Snyder Cut on there. So there was a lot of cool things happening, billboards. And I wanted to kind of lend what I did. I wanted to help contribute to that, right? In a positive way. And I just, for a while, I didn't really know how, but, at the time I was a writer for a couple different entertainment websites. And it just kind of dawned on me. I always wrote longer form articles. Like I just wanted to keep going and going, right? I just, get into the weeds and you kind of nerd out. But I just realized after a while, I was like, I'm a writer. Maybe I should just try this and see what happens. Worst case scenario, I just toss it aside and call it a day. I'm still a fan, but I just kind of viewed it as a long article and just kind of start at the beginning and just kind of roll right on through, mostly chronological. And yeah, I would say that was the biggest thing, and the reasoning behind it was wanting to, and just also like there's so many people out there that when they think of the Snyderverse, right, and that I think varies too on what is the Snyderverse is probably the better question. But when it comes to that, people kind of view it as like this. They have there's these rumors or this. Yep. There's a cover of the book. Yep. Amazing cover design, by the way. And when it comes to the Snyderverse, a lot of people have this negative opinion, or like they have this sense of what they think it is without really knowing what it is. And a lot of rumors and stuff that wasn't true was being said about it. And this was my way of like, hey, this is all the facts. Like it's a neutral perspective throughout the book, and I just kind of laid everything out there and kind of let people read what the truth is and let them feel about it how they may.
That's really, and thank you for sharing that with us. Do greatly appreciate it. Once again, we're here with Darren Kurtz here on the Otherworldly Fundraising event, talking about this is the Snyderverse Hour for this course of programming. If you're just joining us, don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. If you have any questions for Darren during the course of this hour, please let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. We'd be more than happy to take those from you as they come in respectively. And I thank you for sharing that story of how this came about, because I saw a video. I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but there was this video circling around, including the hashtag with, release the Snyder Cut, all that stuff. It was a man who, I think he was in Texas, and he made a video of himself talking about how the movies impacted his life as a father and how he and his daughter watched it. And then he got a whole bunch of clips of other people from around the world sharing their love of the first two films that had come out up to that point, with it being Man of Steel and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And when I was watching that video, I thought, because let's face it, both films are very divisive amongst fans and critics. They very much are. But to see that video, and I wish I remembered who put it together, and I wish I remember who it was.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think I do know who that is, by the way.
Oh, okay, all right. I wasn't sure. But
yeah, it's my buddy John Aaron Garza.
I think yeah. It may okay. All right, then it's probably who I'm thinking of. So when I watched that video, I started to cry at the end of it, because I realized, okay, I knew I had a few friends of mine, not a lot, but I had a few that were defending the quality that is Man of Steel. I think it's a criminally underrated film, 100%. And there are elements of BVS for me that work. There were certain elements of that didn't. I mean, of course, the director's cut is much better than the theatrical cut that we got in theaters, respectively, of BVS. And I realized, wow, these films really do make an impact. Whether the critics or audiences like them or not, like there are fans out there that will back up what the director was trying to do and the vision that he had for this, what was at the time a fledgling DC cinematic universe. And that video really hit me. I was like, man, I thought I was one of the few people who actually liked this movie. But Man of Steel, there's a lot of defenders out there. There's actually defenders for BVS, and granted, BVS is a good film. It's just that the casting of Jesse Eisenberg was terrible. But you know what I mean? Like, there are defenders. So I really appreciated that in that video. That video actually made me tear up, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, isn't it crazy how the impact that a movie can have, such a profound impact can have on your life, and how you experience the world and how it reflects that.
Yeah, for sure. And some people are chiming in here in the chat. Krista Marie says it's always the people who make the most amount of noise who get the attention with regards to releasing the Snyder Cut, because, man, that hashtag went around forever. But for good reason, though. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. Then she goes on to say, my sidekick, known as Lauren, would like to know Darren's thoughts on the Adam West Batman era. What are your thoughts, Darren?
Very fun to watch. I obviously it's very campy and very goofy and of its time, right? Like that wouldn't happen today, but I'm glad it exists.
There you go. That helps. I don't know. For me, I'm just nothing against Adam West and Burt Ward, but hashtag not my Batman. Sorry.
It's fair.
I can't. I watched it. I watched the movie. Tried to watch an episode or two with the Bing Pang Pow, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I've always enjoyed the darker take on Batman. You know.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim Burton. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You're my number one guy. Anyway,
Yep.
sorry, I can quote that movie all day long. I don't know if you can. Steph L chimes in. Steph says, Darren and Ryan, do you have a favorite era of the character known as Superman? What about you, Darren?
A favorite era
Of Superman. What do you think?
I don't know if I have a favorite. You know, I enjoy multiple eras so much that I don't know if I could pick just one to be a favorite, you know? What about you?
You know, I've grown up with, I mean, you, me, and everyone else who's been around for a long time, we've grown up with a lot of different eras of this character because he's been featured in so many different forms of media, right? If we're talking live action, I got to go with Henry Cavill. He got the shorter end of the straw. He should have had his own trilogy. He should have had his own sixology, which stands for 6 movies, not some dirty thoughts. 6 movies, because Henry Cavill loves that character. He knew how to do it. He read the comics. He did his research. He did his like he wanted to put his own stamp on it, and unfortunately, he didn't really get a chance to do that. So for me, my favorite live action iteration is Henry Cavill's Man of Steel, because, like I said, criminally underrated film, and for me, I think it's my favorite comic movie of all time. Darren.
That's so cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from. You know, I'm such a huge fan of Henry Cavill, the man and the actor, and yeah, I do agree. I really wish he would have gotten another solo movie, and you know, and to be able to have somewhat of a say in what he wants to do, taking the character moving forward. That's why I think everyone was so excited when he was in Black Adam, right? You know, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Black Adam, but I mean they kind of spoiled it themselves. You know, like he's in the movie and he returns and he was so excited. He just seemed so genuinely excited to be back. And then they were announcing they were going to do, another movie with him. And it just sounded like he was finally going to get his opportunity to come back to the character. Because before that, he hadn't been in the role since literally filming Justice League, and that had been what 5-6 years by that point. And then obviously what ended up happening was that was kind of the end of it. Then after they told him, yes, you can tell the world that you're back, then it's like, now tell them you're not back, so it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a valid point. And, we wish Henry the best with everything moving forward. He's got projects lined up like crazy, so he's going to be fine. But it does hurt right here that he's not going to.
Well, you know what hurts for me too?
Yeah.
Oh, we know what's always hurt is not getting the Ben Affleck Batman movie.
Man, yeah, because at one point that actor was saying, I'm going to write, produce, star, direct the whole thing, and I'm thinking, whoa, like if he treats this like a Gone Baby Gone or like The Town kind of thing, like that could have been rad. Like
Absolutely,
that could have been. I mean, unless you want to make the movie a 2-hour fight scene in a warehouse where he's breaking everybody's back and arm and whatever else he was doing in that. Remember the warehouse sequence in BVS? Like,
of course.
If he's just doing that for 2 hours, I'm okay with that. I mean, he owned it, right? I mean,
yeah.
And
I mean,
Jeremy Irons as Alfred. Oh, Uncle Scar as Alfred, Darren.
Perfect casting. Perfect casting.
I mean, come on.
You had Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke is going to be, which is a very different kind of villain for Batman, and everything that was, I wrote a whole chapter about it in my book, which is right here. What it's called, The Batman, and because that was what it was originally called before that morphed into the Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson version. And I wrote all about it in my book, everything that was kind of said about it, what the story was going to be about, the actors that were going to be in it, and they were talking about having have it somewhat take place in Arkham Asylum and the Rogues Gallery, and I mean, it sounded like it was going to be amazing, and it's unfortunate that it never happened.
Yeah, man, things that could have been. Well, one of the things I did like about, and this is available, you can see this on stream or wherever. What was it? Zack Snyder's Justice League had the nightmare.
Yes.
What if we were on Apocalypse and Darkseid was trying to kill us all, and Batman had to work with his worst enemies, and he had to team up with the last surviving members of the League. And I'm thinking, ooh, this is dark. I like it. Let's go there. Let's see. Like he had to work with the Joker. He had to work with Deathstroke. Like he had to work with all these characters that he doesn't really like. He doesn't like them, and for good reason. But they had to work together. That nightmare sequence, or that epilogue, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. It was only like 5 minutes. I was like, where's that 2-hour movie? I'll watch that.
Well, that was supposed to be the next few movies, but
Man.
yeah.
I mean, oh, things we could have gotten. It's killing me. It's killing me. Still does to this day. I would have liked. Granted, there's a lot of things we could have seen. There's a lot of things we should have been able to see. I would have liked to have seen other characters from DC Comics make an appearance in a film that haven't been present before, right? Because there's so many members of the Justice League as well as Justice League Unlimited. Like, there are so many characters you could have picked from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that was going to be part of that plan. Like the Green Lanterns were going to be brought in with the future movies. And obviously, we see Martian Manhunter in Zack's Justice League. So there was definitely, I think, an effort to expand and explore more of that as well.
For sure. And my goodness, all the things that could have been. But hey, what isn't something that wish we could have been, what's happening right now is Otherworldly Fundraising right here. And you are in the presence of greatness with that, because we are here with Darren Kurtz here on the show. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. If you have any questions for Darren, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. All our fundraising efforts are going towards one simple wish that provide resources to children within the foster care system. So check out the website, check out the link to donate. It's located within the description below. Every donation you make, including $10 or over, you're going to be entered into a sweepstakes to win incredible prizes that have been put together by the people who are working tirelessly behind the scenes to help put this event together. So definitely check that out. It has been a great conversation with Darren here thus far. All the things that could have, it's basically we're singing the song shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if anyone remembers that song. Was that even a song? I don't know. I heard it in some movie one time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just curious, though, Darren, if I know that we leave these things normally to people who have the experience in the field, right? We leave it to the writers, the producers, the directors, and all that. But if you were involved in the creativity of this, if you were part of the creative team over there and the DC Cinematic Universe was moving forward with Zack Snyder being a huge part of it, after the events of what is known as Zack Snyder's Justice League that came out not too long ago, by the way, what would you have done if you were sitting in the creative chair? Where would you have liked to have seen the story go outside of, the two-parter, or maybe outside of Zack Snyder's Justice League? Where would you like to have seen?
Well, I mean, we kind of touched on a solo movie for Superman and Batman, like a Man of Steel 2 and a Batfleck movie, right? I mean, that was, a big draw, I think. That would be something that'd be very exciting. So I definitely would have explored those options and, back the dump truck of gold up to Ben Affleck's house and say, please do this. You can have all the creative control you want, I promise. And I would have definitely also loved to have seen Ray Fisher get a Cyborg movie. I think it's something that would have been very relevant and topical. And I feel like he did such an amazing job in Zack's cut of Justice League that with that character, and you could tell he was so passionate about it and had such a good experience with it, with Zack's version of Justice League, I should say, that I think it would have been really awesome to see him be able to, branch off on his own and be able to have a story of his own to tell. And I'm not well versed with like Cyborg in the comics, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about that. But maybe that's a way to explore Teen Titans in the Snyderverse. I don't know, but I think that would have been really awesome to see. I know Zack also mentioned this idea of having like an Atom movie that takes place in China with Ryan Zeng, who was in Zack's movie. So I think that would have been really interesting as well to see. So that's definitely some of the things that kind of first come to mind. Obviously, I would also love to see the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. I think we are long past due for getting that version out there to see. And I think David Ayer would agree with you on that because he talks a lot about on X, formerly known as Twitter. So yeah, that's kind of where I would start really. And I would really start there. And, because I mean, you look at like The Flash and Aquaman and Wonder Woman have all had multiple movies, a movie or multiple movies by this point. And I think when it comes to the Nightmare future, it's kind of a saga in terms of like it's all. I mean, it was kind of described at first as like Harry Potter, where it's like it wasn't really meant to be like Marvel, where they have 20 movies in 10 years right? Like it wasn't meant to be like that. It was meant to be like five main films with a few spin-offs here and there, so that way you don't get too off track from the main storyline. So I feel like that would have been probably the best. That's probably what I would have done. Would it have worked? Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. You never know if something's going to work until it comes out and you get a response to it, and
Yeah,
you get the feedback and all that. For me, I mean, Henry, my boy, I want you to have your own trilogy. I wouldn't mind seeing the solo Batman film, which you discussed a few times here already during the course of this program. I would like to have seen some other characters get some time in the sun. I mean, I know he shows up in the Black Adam film, but Dr. Fate, I think, would have been a cool thing to play with
absolutely.
within the DC cinematic universe, and not just his appearances in what was known as the Black Adam movie. I haven't seen the newer stuff that's come out, whether it be Black Adam or what was it, Blue Beetle, I think just came out, and you have some other films that have come out recently. I haven't seen all of them yet. I do plan on sitting down and watching them eventually because I am curious. Curiosity, it may have killed the cat, but it's not going to kill me. At least I don't think so. Just saying.
Hope not.
So no, hope not. Absolutely not. So have you caught up with the stuff that they're doing now? And also, what are your feelings about James Gunn and Peter Safran, those two dudes, walking in and taking over the DC cinematic universe as well as they're basically the new era and rebooting it from scratch? What do you think about that?
That's a good question. So I'm like you. I have not 100% caught up with all of the movies. I haven't seen Blue Beetle. I have Shazam 2, but I haven't seen it yet. So I mean, I'm still trying to catch up with that. And in terms of the future of where these movies are going, in terms of like I think personally it's going to be a reboot. I think it's going to be a completely clean slate. That way they can cast whoever they want in those roles and kind of take them in whatever way they want to go with them. But I mean, I'm trying to stay neutral and trying to wait until I see a photo, a trailer, before I kind of start to get a better feel for what they're doing. Because right now it's so early. I mean, yeah, sure, they've announced a bunch of movies and they've cast a few people, but I'm not gonna pretend. I mean, I'm obviously not over the moon excited about it right now because I mean, yes, I do understand like the idea of wanting to start fresh and have a creative vision that's, very authentic to the filmmaker that's doing it, right? Which is James Gunn, which he's proven to be successful with. Guardians of the Galaxy, that's some of the best Marvel movies that's been out there. Some of the most well received. So he's obviously a talented filmmaker. Not for everybody though, and I wouldn't say I'm his biggest fan, but I recognize that there's definitely like the appeal is definitely there. I don't really know. I'm not sure how he would handle Superman, but again, I mean, just like how people were, so what I guess the upset, maybe might be an understatement, when they announced Ben Affleck as Batman and overreacted to it, and when they cast Jesse Eisenberg and Gal Gadot, everybody was freaking out, like, what are they doing? And then when you actually see a trailer, you're like, oh, okay, like, yeah, she looks great as Wonder Woman. I buy it now. Yeah, Ben Affleck actually looks kind of cool as Batman. I can kind of buy into this now. So I feel like I'll wait and see how they go about telling their story and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all we can do is wait and see what happens. And it's kind of, you and I are kind of on the same playing field. I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan, not really a fan of his work, really, particularly, but it's a new era. They're going to start out from scratch, going to start from the very beginning. It's fine. They've already cast their Superman, their Lois Lane. They've cast Green Lantern and a few other DC characters. So looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'm curious. The trailer, that's what's going to, yeah. That's what's going to get me even more curious. The trailer is going to tell us something. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So look forward to seeing what happens with that. And, on the flip side of it, though, they do have the positive for them with this new era that they're trying to assemble over there at the DC Cinematic Universe. They did put together a new, young, up-and-coming actors to play Superman and Lois Lane, which is a good thing because I do want to see some new, fresh, somewhat unknown talent get their shot at stardom, just like Henry did. Not a lot of people knew who Henry was unless you watched The Tudors, but I had no idea who Henry was. I had no idea. And then he shows up in this movie and he blows my mind. So thank you, Henry Cavill. By the way, Henry Cavill, you're the man. Stephen Fisher has a question for you here. Stephen Fisher chimes in. He says, so I've heard rumors of people hoping to get WB to sell the Snyderverse rights to some place like Netflix to continue on with it. Is that something you've heard, and do you think you'll ever see that happen, Darren?
I've seen the fan demand for that online. I have not heard anything about it actually coming to any kind of fruition, and I have a hard time seeing that happen. I think logistically that would be very tough to pull off because, obviously Warner Brothers has the rights, and obviously they're moving forward with different versions of the characters. And I don't know. I think there's some legal hurdles to make that happen. Would I love to see it happen? Of course. Zach loves working at Netflix. Really excited for Rebel Moon. So, and he just seems so happy there. It's a very good relationship they have going on there. So, I mean, of course, I would like to see that. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, just because it seems like it would be tough to pull off. But never say never,
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge because that's like trying to put an Avengers versus Justice League movie together. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's never. I would love. I mean, we all 7 billion people on, on this earth would like to see it happen, but it's not. It's like that film we used to watch, some years ago. Do you remember this line? Stop trying to make it happen. It's never going to happen, Gretchen. That's a movie from the 2000s. If you don't know what I'm talking about.
Which one is that?
I was saying, it was basically me saying, stop trying to make the word fetch happen. It's never going to happen, Gretchen.
Gotcha.
That's from, Mean Girls. Sorry, I'm dating myself again.
Wow.
Krista Marie says, I knew who Henry Cavill was because I had seen, what is it? I Capture the Castle.
Oh, interesting. I never saw that one. I saw Immortals, but
I did see Immortals.
Yeah.
That was a good Greek mythology film too.
Yeah.
That was like a more dark, like violent, because it was from the same people who made 300. So,
with ties to Zack Snyder, look at that.
See that? I guess Henry was destined to play this role. Isn't that funny? Steph L chimes in. She has a question for you. She says, "Are you a fan of Marvel as well as the DC universe, or are you strictly a DC guy?"
I mean, I like quite a few of the Marvel movies too. I'm not as excited about it, but yeah, I mean, I was a huge Captain America fan of those, Chris Evans, and in those movies, and like Captain America: The Winter Soldier is probably my favorite Marvel film out of all of them, including Infinity War and Endgame, which are closely behind that. But yeah, I mean, my wife is such a big fan of the first Captain America movie, and like I really like the second one, and the third one, Civil War, is also good, and it's crazy how that came out right around the same time as BBS, and how that all transpired. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. I mean, to do what they did is just unprecedented, and you have to respect everything that Kevin Feige and everybody over there accomplished in terms of all the the Avengers films and building a cinematic universe in a way that is so cohesive and appealing to kids and adults, and made tons of money. And yeah, it became formulaic, I will say that. And I think they have run into some issues more recently. I think they, especially everything after Endgame, has been kind of tough sledding for them. I think they've kind of lost their path a little bit. They kind of have to get back on track. And I think they expanded a little too much with the TV shows. To the point where, if you like before, you had to watch a bunch of movies, but it was doable. But now you got to watch 5 TV shows and 4 movies and all these different characters to understand what's going on in this next movie. And so it becomes a little tough and a little bit hard to follow at that point. But yeah, I mean, like my phone case is Captain America. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of Captain America.
Well, I'm with you to the end of the line, pal. See, there you go. There's a line for you right there. So, and I agree with what you're saying, because the first 10 or so years of that franchise, we're talking about the MCU here for just a bit. When they ended with Endgame, that to me was and I knew there were more characters coming. I knew they were going to do stuff after Endgame because nothing ever stays secret for very long these days. It really doesn't. In the age of the internet, in the age of spoilers being dropped long before the movie is even released, long before the trailers even come out, it ruins the cinematic experience for me to a degree. But that's a whole other discussion that Darren, myself, and many others could probably have on another show. Maybe Darren will want to come back and discuss that. Who knows? But when Endgame ended, I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. My Marvel flavor is done. I'm finished. And then the shows were coming out, the movies were coming out, and I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't feel it anymore. I just don't feel a vibe to it. There's no vibe. There's no energy to it. And plus, they come out with a new movie like every 2 months now, or every 3 months. There's a new movie dropping. There's a new series dropping. And I feel like, and this is something I was thinking about earlier this week, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I feel like to a certain degree, with we as an audience are being inundated with comic book based movies and TV series. I feel like there's a bit of a fatigue that's going on, and I feel like there's a bit of comic book movie or comic book TV series fatigue. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being, what's the word, paranoid. I don't know. But Darren, that's my question to you. Do you feel like we're at a time now in 2023 where we've had all these movies, all these TV shows, and we're getting even more as we're moving on into the future? Well, once the situation that's going on with WGA and the SAG-AFTRA situation gets remedied. Do you feel like there's comic book movie or TV series or superhero fatigue, or are we just being paranoid here?
Yes, I don't think you're being paranoid. I think we have reached a point where there's so much different content coming out now, and it feels like, it's like you said, it's kind of lost its magic. It's lost what made it special a little bit. And even a movie that would be, 10 years ago would have been a solid movie that would have made 700 million at the box office. I think nowadays it's just not. I don't know. I think people are getting worn out, partially because of, like, Marvel was a big deal, and what they did at the time was such a revolutionary thing, and people were excited about it, and they loved the people in those roles, and they were great, and they had great, uh, actors in those main character roles. Look at Black Panther, right? The late Chadwick Boseman, God rest his soul, and Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, you go down the list, right? They did such a great job with that now, especially now that some of those actors are on to different things, right? Because of what happened in some of those movies, that I feel like maybe part of it was the actors in those roles is what drew some of them in. And now that, even with Spider-Man, now that we've already had No Way Home, it kind of also feels like it's maybe run its course, and would I be up for more of that? Absolutely. But I don't know. I think it's tough. I think there is some fatigue, because it's crazy, because back, 6-7 years ago, they were talking about this topic, and I was like, no, like, this is the time for this. Like, this is the peak, right? Like, even X-Men, you had, First Class and Days of Future Past, and like, it was, yes. And so it was just, and it was a revival of franchises and cinematic universes. Like the Harry Potter universe was brought back with Fantastic Beasts, and Star Wars was brought back with the sequel, with The Force Awakens. So, I mean, it was a time to be a nerd and a movie fan. So back then I would say no, but now, I mean, a lot of those, I mean, yeah. And I think if you're not building towards something special and not, like, delivering on that promise that you're making to the audience, yeah, I think it can be the diminishing returns at a certain point.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and we've had so much. It's just, oh my god, I can't. Whatever MCU's doing, I don't even know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what they're doing. There's a million things going on, but some more people here are chiming in the chat. And we thank you for being with us. Stephen Fisher goes on to say, I really like the more realistic take on Man of Steel. They accurately showed how the world would react if a godlike being came down to our planet. The government would be terrified, as would the character of Bruce Wayne.
I agree.
100%. That's why that movie is so flipping good. It's so underrated. And who is this? Reese?
Reese.
Prakash? Reese. Okay. Oh, you're familiar with this individual. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this works for you. So this person says, out of all the DCEU villains, who has the best character development? We haven't seen a lot of Darkseid, but he does have the same potential of being at least on par with Thanos in terms of motivation. Darren, your thoughts?
Out of all the DCU villains, who has the best character development? Oh, shout out Reese. That's a great question. So I'm gonna say Steppenwolf from Zack Snyder's Justice League, not the theatrical Justice League. Much different. Just forget about that theatrical version, okay? Zack's cut of Justice League is the real Justice League, and I think Steppenwolf is part of what makes that movie work. You know, a hero can only be as great as its villain, and I mean, what a tremendous arc that he goes on in that movie, because he's not just like the mustache twirling, I want to end the world, right? He wants to go home, and he has a real arc and a real purpose that's driving him. You know, he wants to make up for his past mistake, just like Bruce Wayne is doing in this movie. The layers, right? Chris Terrio is so amazing at that with his writing. So I really like Steppenwolf. I love the way Kieran Hines delivered his performance in that movie, and the design of Steppenwolf, like the visual effects people shout out, you know, and just incredible work. You know, I think I'd be on Zach's team. I think that was DJ, but who did that? But who was in charge of that? But yeah, I mean, I say Steppenwolf. Zod obviously did an incredible job of Man of Steel. Michael Shannon killed it as that, and I think General Zod deserves a lot of credit, and as part of what makes that movie work really well too, because he is also trying to save his race. But I'm going to say Steppenwolf. I really enjoyed Steppenwolf.
Wow, I don't hear too many people defending that character, whether it's in the Joss Whedon version or the Zack. I don't hear too many people defending that one. So, Darren, impressive, most impressive. Very good stuff, sir. And great question by Reese. And once again, those of you who are just joining us, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. We're here with Darren Kurtz on this not episode, good Lord, on this event known as Otherworldly Fundraising, benefiting One Simple Wish. If you wish to make a donation, the link is currently scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's also located within the description below. Check it out. Every donation that goes over to One Simple Wish, including $10 and over, you are entered into a sweepstakes to win fabulous prizes. So you never know, you could win something incredibly awesome-tacular, or maybe something else to your liking. You never know, but every little bit helps, and we thank you all for your support of this fundraiser, as well as donating to One Simple Wish. And thank you once again to Darren for being here. Do greatly appreciate it. Man, we've heard some good stuff from you, man. I'm digging it.
Thank you.
So let's see here. We've talked about XYZ, talked about how there's a bit of fatigue here and there. Maybe I don't know, maybe it'll ease up moving forward. Who knows? But let me ask you this. Is there a character out there that you want to see get a full screen or small screen treatment down the line that hasn't been featured yet? Whether it be on the DC side of the fence or the Marvel side of the fence. What do you think?
A character. Does it have to be a hero?
It could be anything. It could be a hero or a villain. Doesn't matter.
Interesting. Very interesting. Of somebody who hasn't had an appearance in a film or TV show. It's tough because there's been a lot. There's been a lot, and first thing that comes to my mind, obviously we just had Blue Beetle, right? We just had that movie just came out. And, I mean, well, it's tough because, I suppose the character I was thinking of was also in a TV show. I was going to say Booster Gold, but Booster Gold was in Smallville. So, which is another great show, shout out. And, that's tough. I'll say this. I've always been fascinated with, I think there could be something really cool that could be done, because like when you think of like Batman's rogue galleries, like you think of all the incredible villains that Batman has, right? And here can only be as great as this villain, right? And with Superman, one of my favorite fictional characters, you think Lex Luthor, right? You think General Zod, but outside of that, it gets a little bit more like it's not quite as maybe as deep as some of the others, right? And I think it would be super interesting to, there's this character named the Conduit who is Kenny Braverman. And I think there could be something really fascinating to be explored with that character. Let's say, like, for example, Superman 3, you have, Clark goes back for school reunion, right? First class reunion. And he runs into Lana Lang and is back in Smallville area, right? So, And even in Superman 4, you see him return to the Kent farm, even though Martha Kent has already passed away. So, which one of my favorite scenes actually from that movie. And I feel like there is something really fascinating to be explored with going back to Smallville and maybe and even into Metropolis as well with that character, because one thing that with Superman, his weakness is kryptonite, but his other weakness is magic. So I think there could be something new and exciting to be explored there.
All right, man. Throwing some interesting choices out there. And Superman 3 and 4, boy, those movies didn't happen. But they
Yeah,
did. They did. For some of us, it did. Listen, I'll be the first to admit, I watched Superman 4 as a kid. I thought it was cool. You look back on it now, ooh, not good. Not good. But Mariel Hemingway was cool. Just saying. If you know who Mariel Hemingway is, hi, Mariel. Good to see you. By the way, Krista Marie says, I'd like to see Booster Gold get another shot. Okay. Booster Gold, or she says, how about the character Vigilante?
that'd be cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
be down for that.
I'm not overly familiar with Vigilante.
I mean, I would also love to see
Not familiar.
a full out JSA movie or TV show. I think that
Oh,
would be awesome. You know,
dude. What we got in Smallville, my number one favorite show. Hello.
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Dude, that JSA 2-hour movie, it's pretty good. For
Yeah,
what they had to do in the short amount of time they could do it in, and they had to put these sets together and everything. Like they had to put together the hall of like the table, the round table, and everything. Like all that stuff. I'm thinking to myself, we're literally going back in time and looking at DC's history here. That's a big deal. That's
absolutely.
huge.
Yeah,
I thought that was great, man. Oh,
same.
speaking of which, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this too, because they've been talking about this for a number of I think, what is it, years now? Are you okay with the possibility of actors Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, and company reassembling the team and putting together a Smallville animated series to continue the show?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I was such a huge fan of that show too. I didn't mention that earlier, but I mean, I grew up, I wouldn't say I grew up with that show, but I caught it more towards the end of its run. But then obviously I've gone back and watched it over multiple times, and my start in podcasting actually came from a friend of mine, Zach Moore, did Always Hold On to Smallville podcast, covering each and every episode of the show, and he was actually on Talkville. He got to meet and talk to Tom and Michael, and so I was such a big fan of that show. So I would love to see more, of course, and bring it back. If they decide to bring back some of the cast and Go and Millar, if they want to Goff and Millar, if they want to bring them back, that'd be awesome. I'm not sure it's going to happen because I haven't heard anything about it for a little while now, and especially if they're doing a reboot. Although Michael Rosenbaum is good friends with James Gunn, so I mean, I'll be down for it as long as they're up for it.
There you go. It's like the magic words, right? Always hold on to Smallville. That's what they
Yes,
always tell us. Isn't that right, Darren? That's what they always tell
absolutely.
us. Stephen Fisher has some interesting questions here. He chimes in. He says, would Tom Welling ever wear the suit? Not in real life, but he would do it in the animated show because then he doesn't have to worry about putting on a suit.
Oh, that's a good question.
Would Tom wear the suit?
Would he wear the suit? Would he act as Superman, even if it was just the voice if he was wearing the suit?
I think he
Hard.
would do it for voiceover purposes.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he would do it because then he doesn't have to worry about like putting on an actual, live action costume. He can just be himself. He can be Clark. He can just do it, as the character. Yes, even though the character is going to be wearing a suit within the animated form, but I think he could do it. I don't think Tom is against having the suit on in that series.
Hmm. That'd be cool. It'd be awesome. I don't know if I would know. I don't know. I still don't know if he'd be up for it, but
Hmm.
I would. I think we would all like to see that.
I would
You
love
know.
to see it.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I would like for that to happen. It's also funny too because Justin Hartley, who was the Green Arrow from that show,
Oh yeah.
he actually there was a recent animated project. I don't know if it was a movie or whatnot, but he actually did the voice of Superman
Oh,
for
oh,
that.
that's right. He did. Yeah. I forget. He did it in a few a movie or two, right? Animated movie.
Yeah, and I think it was just recently,
Yeah.
just in the last like year or two, I think.
I think one or two of those movies. I don't know. We gotta ask somebody about that. And by the way, I have been handed a note from our producers stating that we are currently at $585 for our fundraising efforts. So thank you to everyone, every single one of you who have donated to the cause for Otherworldly Fundraising benefiting One Simple Wish. Once again, the link is located in the description below. It's currently scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Check it out. Lots of wonderful things going on, and we appreciate each and every single one of you for donating, because as a wise person once said, every little bit helps. I'm just saying. Let's see here. Reese is back. He says, I'm also on board with Booster Gold getting the spotlight at some point, and with Vigilante possibly getting a spin-off / origin story. You know, the more I'm hearing about this Vigilante character, the more I'm curious. Maybe I need to do some reading. I don't know. If you have, does anyone have a comic book I should read that centers around the character of Vigilante? Let me know in the chat.
Yes, let us know.
Please do, because I'm all for, like Biff Tannen says, you know your history. Very good. Sorry, that's another reference there for you. By the way, Steven says Justin Harley played Aquaman in the one-off spin-off show that was filmed as a pilot, but it never went anywhere. Yes, it's on the Blu-ray set. I think it's on the complete series DVD set of Smallville. If you want to go back and watch it, it's there. There's a tape. There's a special feature of it there. I think you could probably find it somewhere else. I'm not condoning that activity, but if you want to find it, I'm just saying, Darren, it's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there. That's all I'm gonna.
Just buy the big DVD Blu-ray box set and just watch Smallville and then watch that. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, dude, I bought the Blu-ray set like right as it came out. I think I don't know if I remember if I pre-ordered it or like the week it came out. I ordered it online from Best Buy and it got shipped to my house. I'm like, yep, that's what I need. I want all my 10 seasons on Blu-ray, baby. I want it all. I want the whole package. Ooh, yeah. Let's see here. Trying to think. What else was I handed? I was handed another note here. Oh, yes. Anonymous donors during the course of this weekend, they can't win the sweepstakes because we need to be able to contact you. So if you're able to give us an email address, your social media handle when you're donating, please do, because otherwise you'll be ineligible, I think is the word, to win the fabulous prizes in our sweepstakes. So please give us your contact information if you make a donation that's $10 or more, and we'll be sure to get those prizes out to you if you are chosen as the winner of potential prizes. So there you go. I feel like I'm on a game show for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. I got a vibe going here, Darren. I don't know. You're doing something to me over here.
Come on down.
I know, right? There's okay showdown. Anyway, Stephen Fisher says, I got the Aquaman film from iTunes way back when. Woo! iTunes. Whew. Haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you even use iTunes anymore, Darren? I don't really care.
I mean, for music, I guess, but not for like watching stuff, you know.
Jeez. Man, it's going back. Whew. It is Flashback Friday for a reason. Oh, here's one for you. Favorite episode of Smallville. What is it?
Oh, boy.
Come on, baby. Let's do it. You got your boy running the podcast. Always hold on to Smallville. Now I got to hear it from you. What's your favorite episode?
Yeah. So, look, my favorite episode is not the best episode. I'll put it that way. I would say, when I think of the best episodes, I think of Justice from season 6, when we got to see a lot of the Justice League characters, like Green Arrow and Cyborg and Aquaman. So, I mean, that was a really cool episode. Stephen S. Knight did that. But, and obviously, like you mentioned, in season 8, we had, or was it season 8 or season 9, that we had the JSA 2-part episode back to back. And then there's been some excellent, amazing episodes over the years. I think earlier Smallville was probably more my jam. I think was maybe the stronger part of Smallville. And my favorite episode comes from season 3, which, I mean, I would say is one of the best seasons of the show. And it is an episode it was season 3, episode 4. And, I'm just going to pull it up here quick so I can.
Is that the one called Relic? Is that Relic?
No, it's not Relic. I think Relic might have been the flashback.
Well, that is a flashback / flash forward episode, but
yeah.
Episode 4.
My favorite episode is called Slumber.
Oh, the nightmare sequences. Yeah.
Yeah, where he's kind of I don't know. It was directed by Terrence O'Hara, who recently passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, it was kind of about him. And there was this new neighbor, because Lana used to be the neighbor next door, right? The girl next door, that trope, right? And so what what happens is there's this new girl living next door, this family, and she's like he keeps falling asleep. He's so tired he keeps falling asleep, and she comes into his dreams and is like, help me. And there's this like phantom that like keeps taking her, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and he's trying not to fall asleep, so he's super tired. But it's a really fascinating, interesting episode that, you know, I've always kind of found the surreal to be something that it's always been inspiring, and something that's resonated with me. So for whatever reason, it's always been my favorite. And of course, like the classic ending, you know, in the barn, in the loft, which is one of the coolest sets ever. You know, when he's, she's like, we should hang out this weekend. What do you want to do? And he's like, well, I don't want to do skinny dipping. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. And she's like, who said anything about skinny dipping? And she's like, maybe in your dreams, which is like they really send it home. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Slumber. Okay. Because they just did the commentary for that with Talkville a few weeks ago.
I still have to watch that. Yeah.
Oh, you got to go back through. Talkville's got some good stuff going on there, man. I got to tell you, it's a really great podcast. Feel free to check that out if you're just joining us. Talkville is a podcast that's hosted by Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum. They go back, they rewatch all 218 episodes of the series they starred in, known as Smallville, and you can ask them questions. You can share your thoughts about it on social media. They do have social media accounts for that. It's Talkville Podcast or Talkville Pod. So check that out when you have a chance. For me, more people are chiming in here on this conversation here. They are sharing with us what their favorite episodes of Smallville are. I want to get to those here. Krista Marie says Memoria is my favorite Smallville episode, followed by the Dukes of Hazzard episode.
Oh, sure.
With
awesome. Very
Tom
cool.
Wopat and John Schneider. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you. Just trying
Very
to
good.
Figure that one out. Stephen Fisher says, I enjoyed the Christmas Elseworlds-like episode when Lex was a good guy. Kristen corrects him. It's Lexmas.
Lexmas, yes.
Lexmas.
Great stuff. Homecoming is a great episode in season 10.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one. Love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. Let's see. Stephen Fisher says, yes, that is correct. And then let's see. Helen Bear. But that's an interesting username if I ever heard one. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hope the fundraising goal is surpassed today. It could be, but with your help, as well as the person who's watching or listening to this right now, with your help, we can do it. We can do it. I'm just saying. So please check out the link in the description. Check out the link currently scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. And don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. We're here with Darren Kurtz, best-selling writer, an incredible fan that I would definitely want to hang out with on a regular basis talking about Man of Steel. We talked about his book earlier, the Snyderverse Saga, which is really, really good stuff. So make sure you check that out. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. Also, Stephen Fisher chimes in. He says, are the rewatch podcasts on hold right now with the strike? Stephen, some of them are taking a break. Some of them are still continuing to air episodes. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, right? It's some people are taking a break in response to the strike. Some people are continuing on with episodes, whatever may be happening right now. So, I mean, Talkville is still going. So, which is good for me because as a Smallville fan, as Darren and I are big Smallville fans, that helps us. Isn't that right, Darren?
Absolutely.
I'm just throwing that out there as a for instance. I mean, hey, there's some good stuff going on right now in this dark, crazy world that we're living in. Hey, I'm just saying. So for me, my favorite episode, it goes back to where I started, Darren. I started watching in season 5. And I started watching the 100th episode, Reckoning.
That's a big episode.
That is a huge, monumental episode in the Clark Kent mythology, within the DC mythology. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch that episode. You will be bawling your eyes out by the end of it. And that episode was the first episode of the show I ever saw. And from that point on, Darren, respectively, I was not only a fan of Smallville, but I became an even bigger fan of Superman because of that episode.
I mean, there's no going back after that one.
No. There absolutely is not. And real quick, true story here for you, Darren. 6 weeks prior to that episode airing, I lost my dad, unfortunately, suddenly. And because of that episode, I was crying like crazy. And also that episode, as well as the episode that followed, known as Vengeance, episode 13, if you remember that one, helped me get through that dark period of my life. So I got to give it up to the cast and crew of Smallville. Thank you for that wonderful series, and thank you for getting me through a dark period. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. But you know what? It's a great show, and if you haven't seen it before, if you've never even heard of Smallville, if you don't know anything about this character of Clark Kent and Superman, Smallville is a great starting point.
Yes.
I would say. I mean, even going back to the pilot, dude, that pilot is solid.
Very much so. Oh yeah.
I mean, and the song that plays at the end by oh gosh, who is
Lifehouse,
it?
right?
Lifehouse.
Yeah.
Dude, that song, talk that talk, George, hits me every time. Hits me.
Great stuff.
God, it gets you in the feels.
Great music. Great music from that show too.
Oh my gosh, man. I was introduced to like a couple of bands during that period of time, like Three Doors Down and Finger 11. You remember Finger 11? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of the song that we heard during that one episode? Remember the episode where he's dating the blonde who can teleport? She's kind of obsessive.
Oh, Alicia.
Alicia, yes. Oh, by the way, Sarah Carter, you're great. You're wonderful. I wish you nothing but success with your career moving forward. I mean, she's killed it ever since she left Smallville. I mean, she did Falling Skies. She did a bunch of other stuff. She did Shark with James Woods. If you're not familiar with Shark, Darren, watch that show. Sarah Carter was a lawyer on that show. You might want to check that out.
Yeah.
That episode featured the song One Thing by Finger 11. Do you remember that?
I do.
Man, would you trade it all for one thing? It's just hit you right there. I'm just saying. And hey, you know what? Alicia wasn't all that bad.
No.
She was like an anti-hero. She did some stuff that wasn't cool, like abuse, like, I don't know, maybe hitting her parents. I don't know. But it could have worked. If she didn't use the red K on Clark, I think it could have worked.
And if I'm being honest, I think some of my favorite parts of Smallville are the parts that deviate from the standard mythology. Some of the original things they do, like
Really?
Alicia, for example. And then like obviously the extended relationship with Lana and sometimes, but yeah, I think there was some of the best stuff was some of the stuff that I think kind of deviates that they can kind of explore new territory with.
Gotcha. Yeah, really good episodes there, man. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Well, you know what? Darren, this has been a great hour talking about the Snyderverse, talking about the things that could have been, the things that should have happened, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of the world. And it's been great talking with you and getting to know you better and hearing about your incredible book and the things that you've been doing. And the fact that you're a Smallville fan, we're best friends for life, man. Listen, if you want to come on set for Otherworldly Fundraising in the future, if you want to come on set for some of the other stuff that I do, you and I will I'll email you some stuff and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the behind the scenes area of the studio. But I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Darren, for being here. Where can the person watching or listening to this follow you on social media and purchase a copy of your book? What do you got?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been a blast. Absolutely. So if you're looking to find me online, the best places are probably I would say Twitter/X or Vero, which would be at Darren_Kirst. You can also find the book on Amazon. There's also Twitter accounts and on Facebook pages for the book, and also for my podcast, Round 2, the film sequel, where we talk about the second movie in a franchise. So yeah, that'd be the best place to find me. Otherwise, for anything business related, or if you want to see what we have going on in the future, you can always check out my website, www.oakvalleymediallc.com.
More phenomenal, man. Thank you so much for being here, Darren. We greatly appreciate it. We will catch you later, and thank you for being a part of Otherworldly Fundraising. We'll be in touch, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. Do greatly appreciate it. Once again, my name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5, all the other wonderful things that I'm doing. But listen, I've been talking for a good while now. I think it's time to pass the torch, and it's time for me to walk the other side of the aisle, style and profile, and turn things over to our trivia crew, because it's Friday night, and it's pop culture trivia. Yeah, the cream that rises to the top. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. It's Otherworldly Fundraising. Please welcome our guests and hosts at this time, Ray and Sandra. Ray and Sandra, welcome in.
Hey.
Hello.
I love all the references, the wrestling references, Daddy.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, dude, I mean, you're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. And I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. I really am. But it is so good to have you both here. Tell us what we are in store for tonight. What do you got for us?
We
The stage is yours.
We got a great night at trivia, and guess what? I get to do it with my lovely and beautiful wife, of course, from Inside the Ropes.
That's me.
That's her. And tell them what your name is.
My name is Sandra Ruth. I write for TJR Wrestling, and I podcast on Inside the Ropes. I also write for Inside the Ropes magazine. I do a lot of things, and it all has to do with wrestling. So it's pretty much all wrestling all the time for me.
And she is a trivia host.
I am.
Right
yes.
here in good old Tulsa, Oklahoma, my friends.
I am. As are you, husband of mine. We both host things quite regularly in town. So, that's pretty much our lives. Just, writing about wrestling for me and then going out and hosting at a bar.
That's why we got married, so we can combine our trivia powers together and let it loose on the world.
I think you secretly just wanted like a solid fill-in when you can't do a
to cover my
gig.
shift where we keep all the money.
Exactly.
Obviously.
When you can't do a show, then I take over.
Leave it up to the missus. That's right. Because remember, folks, once I married Sandra Ruth, I was entitled to half her Beanie Baby collection. Right down the middle.
We have a whole box of them over there.
That was my plan.
It's true.
My plan. Anyway, no, it's a great weekend for One Simple Wish weekend. Of course, with Otherworldly Fundraisers. Want to thank everybody. Hopefully, chip in a couple of bucks to help out the cause. So here in a couple of moments, we're going to kick off. Oh, hey!
Yay!
Orfeh's here! ¿Cómo estás?
Hey!
Everybody's popping in. And Harada's here.
Hello.
Welcome.
I love, look at all this pop screen magic, and Kerry Butler is there, almost there.
Hey, I think something's wrong with my internet, maybe.
Oh, no.
It's possible.
I see those things. Maybe I'll try and
Somebody's
go
conjuring up a spell against your internet connection. That's
was
what
the preview showing your camera?
Hey, and of course, Kristen's here. Hey.
Hey, Kristen.
Hey.
Whoa.
I'll try and go out and come back in.
Okay. We appreciate it. We'll stall.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Orfeh.
It's wonderful to see your face.
All right, so I'm gonna check. Can you hear me? Just do. Can you guys hear me over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And of course, once again, this is my lovely wife, Sandra Ruth of Inside the
Hello.
Ropes. She writes for Professional Wrestling, speaks Spanish, and then she looks like this. That's why I married her, guys. That's why I married her.
Pretty much. That's why we're here, living our lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm excited for pop culture trivia today. We have a whole bunch of questions about movies. We have some musicals thrown in. We have some TV questions, kind of like a grab bag of everything. So it should be a fun time.
I was going to ask Orfeh, are you pretty good at trivia stuff, pop culture trivia stuff?
Pop culture, yes. Music especially. Pop music, yeah.
Okay.
But maybe I won't be
I'm
tonight.
good too, even though I just work here, but
Oh, hey. Hello. And Harada, how's your relationship with the trivia?
I'm pretty good at trivia, but I'm really afraid I'm just going to be too old for this game. So.
No.
There's a lot of older
True.
questions.
I'm telling you, just because I am an older gentleman myself, that's where my pop trivia stuff lies. So don't worry. I don't think we included any sports questions.
Oh no.
Just because
thank God.
that's not
good.
her deal.
Strong.
I was like,
And-
I
Unless
had
they're,
to
like,
find the
sports
questions.
questions from the mid 70s, then
Exactly. So
I'm
we
a
kind of
girl.
kept
I
it
got
like strictly pop culture, just kind of stuff. And got a surprise for the second round for you guys. Got a surprise, big surprise. It's
Okay.
close to my heart here. So while we talk, and all right, let's just go ahead and with people that. Oh, I thought we were coming up with somebody. All right. Hey, it's thank you. Yes, Lambert. So, and of course, thank you once again to Kristen for inviting us. When she told us what was going to go on, we were just going to all about it, just because we do trivia. Me and my wife both host trivia here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I do it at Wednesday nights over at Louis Jinx, and
I host on Thursdays at Inner Circle. So if anyone's in the Tulsa area, feel free to come on out and see us there. I think we're waiting for Kerry to come on
Yes.
again.
Yes.
You've got to wait for Miss Carey.
yes,
You know what? She will be worth the wait. It's totally fine.
Absolutely.
I have never seen your
absolutely.
hair this long. I love this.
Oh, it
look
was
on you.
longer. I chopped it off. It's just that I always have it back because, it's a commitment.
Just because of the
Yeah.
roles that you take, you have to bring the hair back, or
No, those I'm always wigged for those.
oh, okay.
There's your trivia.
See,
What
no,
does Orfeh do with her hair and all her show?
no, man, I really wish I had a wig collection, because sometimes just having this, it's so boring, man. I'm just like, I wish I had just a wig to pop in on whatever occasion.
I mean, we could make that happen.
We
could
We
make
just
that
like have a
happen
wig
very
wall behind
easily.
us if you want
Oh
it.
my gosh. Just like what's her name on Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, just like, I mean, channel your inner Moira Rose and just get like a
Yeah.
whole wig wall.
Carrie's having a little trouble. If anyone can help.
Oh, okay.
She has full internet. Let's see if in the settings, maybe would it be in settings to turn on the video? I don't know if she can hear me as I'm saying that.
That's fine. I let the missus take care of all this technical stuff.
All the technical stuff.
I will say this real quick. I'm sorry. I know I'm the wizard and I have to be behind the curtain and not reveal my
Whoa.
beautiful non-existent face, but the fact that you guys understood all the references I've been making the last 2 hours straight, that's good work.
No,
and I'm glad
like
I'm
I
not the
said-
only one who grew up watching pro wrestling as a kid. So
yeah.
100%. That's just
it
like
helps. And I've been to pro wrestling events too. I've been to pay-per-views. I've been to SmackDowns. I've been to Raws. Not Raws. No, Raw I never went to. You know, the pity of it is when I grew up during the Monday Night Wars between Eric and Vince, I never went to a Nitro or a Thunder. I felt bad.
Oh wow, yeah.
no,
I
I
felt
was
so
gonna,
bad because I was an NWO fan for so long. I still am, by the way.
Oh, well, look
But
at you. No, I was going to ask, Anne, have you ever been to a pro wrestling match?
No,
Ever?
no.
They were fun back in
Or
the day.
Faye, have you ever been to a professional wrestling match?
So long ago, way too young for it. Scarred for life.
Oh, man.
Fair.
That's what wrestling does.
Yay!
That's what,
Carrie.
everybody carries in the building. Thumbs up
Yay.
to everybody. Thank you, Ryan, for making all those beautiful references, showing your beautiful face.
All the beeps and boops behind the screen have been done.
Absolutely. So, all right. Are you? Hey, Kristen's back. All right. So we got our full
I'm only
crew
back
here.
momentarily.
That's
because-
fine. That's fine. Again, once again, I want to thank Kristen for having us here. Me and my beautiful wife, Sandra Ruth. I keep saying beautiful because I know what's up. I know what's up. I know what's up. I have to give my wife a compliment every single minute of the day.
I mean,
And
it wasn't like in the contract. That's
Well.
not something I like mandated from you.
No, again, Otherworldly Fundraiser, One Simple Wish Weekend. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Now, we're going to do this. If you,
Right.
Did you want to explain the first part of it?
What
But
are you doing?
before I hand everything over to Ray and Sandra, I want to remind all our contestants the winner does get a prize.
Ooh,
What?
wow.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
there
didn't
is
see
a
that in my
prize
notes.
for the winner. Ryan, if you want to bring up the picture that I sent you. Now, this
There's
is just an
steak.
example.
Oh, it's a Trevor Hawkins
Whoa, that's-
original.
oh, look at
Well,
that.
this picture is my personal one, but our friend Trevor paints these wonderful pictures, and he will do one of your choice. It could be a role, a pet, family, whatever you want. Could be
That
a
is
picture of
very
us,
cool.
whatever you want. But it'd be your choice. A small picture from a painting from Trevor.
We are all Trevor
Wow.
Hawkins fans here.
Yes. Beautiful work, beautiful
This
work.
was on our wall right behind us, so I was like, I can go grab it without
Yes.
causing
Oh, that's
havoc and moving the
awesome.
camera.
So whatever you guys want, he will do for you.
Awesome. That's a great prize. So they are stakes involves ladies. So
There are
for the
stakes.
trivia game. So,
And
Competition's heating up.
And
all right. So this is
before
what it is.
Ryan takes me away and that we hand everything over to Ray and Sandra, I just want to say thank you all for being here. I love you all.
Love you too. You take care. Thank you
Yay.
so
Thank you,
much.
Kristen. Thank you for
Awesome.
organizing this.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. So in this first initial phase, you're going to pick somebody from pop culture as your champion. And then Sandra is going to pick a scenario what your champion would be good at. So, Orfeh, do you have a pop culture champion you want to represent you?
living
I'll
or
give you a
dead.
second to think about it because I know you weren't. We're basically ripping off the Great American Pop Culture Quiz Show, which is we are
We
huge
love them.
fans of, and we love that part of their.
And
trivia
ripping off
show,
such a
so-
harsh word, an homage.
It is an homage to them. The My
What, so
Champion
do they
Round-
have to be alive or can they be
No,
not?
they don't
be?
have to be. It
It's
just
just-
has to be somebody
I'll take
who's not
that.
real. Like
Not real,
it has to
just
be
pop culture.
It has to be like a pop culture character, basically. So
Prince.
All right, that's fine.
works.
We'll take it.
he was in Purple Rain.
Yeah, that's fine. And Kerry Butler.
I don't understand.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay.
All right.
We're here to walk
Not
in.
yeah,
Go
weird.
ahead. My
Okay,
wife
so
will explain.
basically what we're doing in this first round is you're going to pick someone from the world of pop culture, someone who doesn't exist in real life, and you're going to choose them as your person who's going to execute a scenario, like who can best change a tire or who can best like go outside and take like whatever. I'm going to present a scenario to you, and then you're going to find out the scenario after you've chosen your champion, and then you have to make a case for why you think your person would be the best to like complete this.
Okay. And Orfeh said Prince?
Yep.
Yes, I didn't get the fake person.
No, that's fine.
I was like, but
Since
I'm
I-
so confused.
Since I am bad at English, I will let everybody slide, and we'll let everybody slide. So here we go.
Okay.
We got
If
Prince.
you want to change yours too, it's fine. Like,
We're loosey goosey here.
I too am confused. So I'll wait
So
to
can
see
you
what
give me an example?
Yeah.
okay. So if I chose, say, Superman as my champion, and then the scenario was who can best save a cat from a tree, then I would say, well, obviously Superman has the power of flight, so he can best like save the cat from the tree. Say somebody else had chosen Batman and said like, oh, Batman has all these tools that he can, you know, scale the tree or whatever to get the cat out, that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll give you a couple moments to think about that. Want to remind everybody, Otherworldly Fundraiser, one simple wish. So go ahead and give what you can. They'd appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Once again, we have Orfeh in the house, Kerry Butler in the house, and Ann Harada in the house tonight. Woot woot.
And basically, whoever champion I choose as the best for the scenario after you make your case, you'll get a
I have
chance to
mine.
answer one extra question for a half point. Yay!
Okay.
Kerry, who is going to be your champion?
Barbie.
Yay!
Hey, Barbie. All right,
Okay.
Barbie.
Then I'm changing from Prince to Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
Okay.
Got you down.
I'm picking
And-
Doctor Who.
Doctor
Ooh.
Who. I like this.
Ooh.
Okay.
Solid ones. Solid ones. All right. Here we
I
go.
like this. Okay, your scenario is who is going to be the best person to write and direct a murder mystery musical?
Oh, all right.
So we'll give you a couple seconds to think about it.
All
Think
right.
about why Barbie is the best one for that job. Think about why Doctor Who is the best one for that job. And think about why Wonder Woman is the best one for that job.
That's a good one, honey. Oh my
So
goodness. All right.
we all have to pick our person. Like I can't be like, I think it's Doctor Who. No.
No,
No, you're making a case for your person.
say,
Like,
why
you're
is your
saying, this is why
person
Barbie is
good
at
for
it.
this scenario. Why is this
Okay.
person going to be good for your scenario? And Sandra Ruth will pick the winner, and from that winner you get a chance at the half point where we break a tie without it even starting with a question.
It's a chance to get a little bit of a heads up on the game.
So that's why we're doing this.
Okay.
And thank you, ladies, again.
Can I change my person? I just
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
For every question,
prematurely.
Gary, for
Absolutely.
every question, you're going to change your person.
No, it's still a person like that, but I was like, that's not me. I'm picking the Little Mermaid. So
That's
Oh.
Ariel
perfect.
doesn't
Love
go.
it.
Wait, is it Ariel? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that
That's-
Ariel?
that's
Okay.
Ariel's the Little Mermaid.
All right,
Yeah,
I was trying
Ariel.
to remember. I was making sure. I didn't want to talk out of turn. All right, Orfeh is sticking with Wonder Woman.
Should I change?
Oh,
mine?
No, I like
just-
Wonder Woman.
No, just
I
making sure.
think I'm
Just making
sticking
sure.
with Wonder Woman.
All right, sticking with Wonder Woman. And Harada is sticking with Doctor Who. Everybody set?
Yes.
All right, we'll start with Orfeh. Why should Wonder Woman be in charge of directing this murder mystery musical?
Because she has all sorts of interesting powers, and she can spin and disappear and fly and catch, bullets with her wrists. And I think she's just up for the task.
All right.
I like that. The
And,
special
and
effects.
I think her life is a murder mystery.
Oh,
So-
there you go. And Kerry
Either
Butler.
fantastic
Why,
match.
I like it.
Kerry Butler, why should Ariel the Little Mermaid be in charge of this murder mystery musical?
Ariel has had a lot of experience with very scary things like the eels and Ursula. And also, it's a musical. So
Right.
if anyone has any vocal
go.
problems, she's lost her voice before. And so she'll be able to help them with that, give them some vocal technique training,
Ooh.
probably.
All right, there you go.
And also, she has a gorgeous voice. And so if it's a music, Ariel, who wouldn't want to see Ariel in any kind of musical? Murder
true.
mystery, political drama.
Ooh, building a strong case, Kerry Butler. All right. Swinging for the fences. And Harada, why should Doctor Who be in charge of a murder mystery musical?
Well, the great thing about Doctor Who is that he has so many faces, right?
Mhm.
There's been so many different Doctor Who's, and I didn't specify which one specifically, so I could just
Oh.
pick whichever doctor I think is the best suited for this,
Ooh.
and
So you
I
can
would
have-
pick.
Okay, so you could have one doctor do the first act,
Why
another
couldn't
doctor
one
do the second act.
Be in it, one doctor direct, one doctor write the
Whoa.
thing, one doctor choreograph the thing.
Whoa.
Doctor Who. I mean, okay, so I would say the Doctor Who. Well, first of all, there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
As my favorite is 12, which is
Oh,
Peter Capaldi, and Doctor Who in canon is like super good at dealing with aliens and
okay.
dealing with dead people and dealing with ghosts.
Okay.
So I feel like he's pretty much covered like a lot of the murder mystery kind of
Or
things.
just
that could
working in
happen.
musical theater in general, right?
Well, musical theater, obviously.
Well, awesome. All right, Sandra, give you a couple minutes. Who do you think should be the leader of this or the director of this murder mystery musical? We got.
See, everyone has made a really solid argument here. I feel like Wonder Woman, with her ability to like zoom all over the place and stop bullets, like you'd save on a special effects budget, right? Because Wonder Woman could take care of a lot of the special effects and stuff, which is great. I feel like Kerry made a great argument for Ariel because she has so much vocal experience plus experience with some of the, you know, darker elements of the sea. So she's not just all happy shiny princess, right?
She's been through some stuff.
She's been through some things in her life. And I love the idea of Doctor Who with Doctor Who's vast experience of like time and space. I feel like that would lend Doctor Who to know a lot about. I mean, Doctor Who has solved murders in the past, right? Like all of those sorts of things. I think in the end, I have to go with Kerry and Ariel because I think that was the most well-rounded argument. I think that Ariel has the most musical experience. And I think that's how it's got to be. But everybody had solid arguments.
All right. Good job, guys.
champion.
So we got that out of the way. Congratulations. I told you my wife is way better at explaining stuff than I am. Obviously it's stuff. So, all right, Kerry, this is for a half a point. This is probably going to stop a tie before it happens. This is the first question. Okay. Put these shows in order where they aired on ABC's 1993. Is it TGIF?
TGIF, yeah.
Programming lineup from earliest to latest.
Oh, boy.
Step by Step, Boy Meets World, Family Matters. All right. So put those in orders for that half point.
I'm going first.
Yes. Yeah, this is for the half point for you. This is specific.
Yeah, it's an extra question just for you.
I have no idea. This is going to be so random.
You want me to repeat them again?
Yeah.
All right. This is from earliest to latest.
Okay.
All right. And this is Step by Step,
Uh-huh.
Boy Meets World, Family
Okay.
Matters.
Okay. I'm going to make Boy Meets World the last one. So the
Okay.
most recent.
Okay.
Going in opposite. Okay. Step by Step in the middle and the other one first.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. This is the way it goes. Family Matters, Boy Meets World, and then Step by Step.
That was as wrong as you could be.
No, you got
know
Family
what
Matters
Step
right.
by
You got
Step
Family Matters
is.
right. It was just the other two
You
were
know,
switched.
but that's how it goes. That's how it goes. All right. But I'll tell you who knows their TGIF is this lady right here.
I mean,
goodness.
it was
Oh, my
a
goodness.
staple.
Oh,
I was
my
born in
goodness.
1984. I was peak TGIF age.
She was
for
all
that.
about it. All about it. All right. Well, with the half point out of the way, we're going to go into our games. Again, ladies, this is general trivia. And the first set of questions are all about cartoons. The first set of questions are about cartoons. So get that in your head.
I'm
All
sorry.
right,
Can
Kerry.
I ask? Okay, can I ask? Oh, so it's like
Sure.
specifically asking. It's not like we have to buzz in or anything.
No.
You don't have to
This
buzz
is
in.
Oh,
no,
thank
no.
God. Okay,
and buzz
great.
in, and you can't
Yeah,
steal
we should
anybody.
probably explain the rules of the
you
game
know,
before
yeah.
we just kind of like
We're just gonna throw them in there.
dump them in.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do for
right.
this next round is we're each gonna have you go in order. So we'll have Kerry go first because she won my champion,
There you go.
and then we'll just go Kerry, Ann, and Orfeh. That'll be the order that we go in, just because it's on the screen. It's easiest the way we see it, and we're gonna alternate questions. So Ray will read a question for Kerry, and then I'll read a question for Ann, and then he'll read a question for Orfeh, et cetera, et cetera. We'll do 3 questions for each of you in this first round.
Okay, great.
All right, you guys ready?
And then you have 30 seconds to answer. We'll have a timer and tell you
good.
when it's
Okay.
about up.
Okay.
Yay.
All right. Kerry, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, gotcha. All right. The 1940 Disney release was first animated movie presented in stereophonic sound. What was that movie? Again, in 1940, Disney release was the first animated movie presented in stereophonic sound. What was that movie?
Is it Steamboat Willie?
It is not.
It is not. It is not.
Snow White.
It's Fantasia.
It's Fantasia. Fantasia. All
darn it.
right.
All right, we'll go to Anne. In 2020, Steven Spielberg developed a reboot of this beloved 90s cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like any answer is better than no answer.
No, I'm thinking Steven Spielberg developed a reboot of this beloved 90s cartoon. And like he developed it like as a TV thing or as a movie thing?
As a TV thing, it aired, but on streaming, but it aired.
But it aired.
Yeah.
So
right.
I have to come up with a beloved 90s cartoon is really the problem.
That was
here.
rebooted
right.
in 2020.
Great. Okay.
All right. 10 seconds. Got anything?
Yeah. No, not a thing.
Oh my goodness. All right.
It was Animaniacs.
Animaniacs. Yes.
Oh.
I know. It's easy.
Animaniacs.
It's easy when you know. See, you can't be doing that, guys. Can't be chiming in with the answer.
See, people are typing in the chat and trying to cheat.
I know. You guys cut
I
it
didn't
out.
see it. I didn't see it
Guys,
at all.
cut it out there. All right. All right. Orfeh, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Is Dr. Draken and Shigo are the arch villain of this Disney Channel heroine?
What? We're gonna be 3 for 3.
Dr. Draken and Shigo are arch villains of this Disney Channel heroine.
Oh. Haley Duff?
Was she? Yeah, she was pretty good at Disney Channel.
Hannah Montana?
Pretty solid answers, but not the right
Definitely a
ones.
good guess.
It's Kim Possible. Kim Possible.
Okay, so close.
I know.
So
All
far.
right.
So that's
All right,
3 for 3. We are fabulous.
I know.
Hey, you know,
Same.
just
These are
kicking the wheels a little
fine.
bit. Just kicking the wheels
These
a
are
little bit.
not
That's
the
all
pop
right.
culture questions I was thinking of.
No, we need musical theater.
or
We'll
like
get to musical
film.
theater.
We
Don't
got a
worry.
surprise. Don't worry. No, because see, that's what I was worried about. I was like, no, we wanted to backload all the musical theater
Give me
stuff.
the
Oh, good.
TGIF
Then
lineup
there's
from
kinda-
1978 or something.
God.
All right, we'll go to the second set. Kerry.
Yeah.
John McClane unclasps a watch, causing this villain to plummet to his death at Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh.
Wait, what's his name?
John McClane is the hero of this film, and we're looking for the villain that plummeted to his death at Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh, Anne looks like she knows it. All right.
And you don't say what year this is.
Mm-mm.
What- no. John McClane.
Yeah, got 10 seconds.
Somebody died in a plaza. Well,
All right.
uh,
All right. Sorry, time's up. I think Anne knows it for no point. Anne, do you know it?
Hans Gruber.
Oh,
Yes, it
hey, all right.
is.
But sadly, no points.
No, I know.
oh,
Just wanted to make
God.
sure. All right. So here's the second set of questions. Oh, all right. This one goes to Anne. Are you ready?
Hans Gruber.
Oh, no.
That's it. That's it.
No,
That'll be
this
my
question is for
pretty
you.
much
This
all the way
question is for
okay.
you. All right. All right. He is trampled by wildebeest after hanging from a cliff and getting knocked off by his brother.
Yeah, I know him. He
Right.
is the father of Simba. What's
Okay, and
his
his name?
name, yo? Mufasa. Mufasa.
Yay!
Someone's on the board. Yay.
And on the board with 1 point.
Yes, one solid point. Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you very much.
All right. And then Orfeh, this character died while sitting on a toilet when he was shot with a crossbow by his unloved son. In an HBO series, I'll say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Duh. Oh no. He was shot by his unloved son
Unloved son.
I don't know that helps you, really.
at all. I don't know how I feel about this clue. It's vague. Do you want the series name?
We could start there and work our way up.
Yeah.
You got 10 seconds.
The one about the crack house meth head situation.
No, it's not that one. But that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome,
That would
actually.
have been
Nope,
awesome.
not.
Any
a
other
clue.
ladies know who it is?
I
And
It's
don't
from
know
Game
the
of
name
Thrones.
Well, I can.
Oh.
We
Never
can
watched
make a
that.
guess.
no,
I never watched it though.
Me neither.
I have never
Oh, you
seen.
know who it is, right, Care?
All right.
Hmm?
Game
Well,
of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
I wouldn't have gotten it either.
I've never
'cause I don't know
watched
Game
it.
of
No
Thrones.
way.
Neither.
Not.
It was
no
Tywin
way.
Lannister.
yep.
Okay.
Shot by.
Great.
I
All
was
right.
really about the crack house.
And I'm glad I've never watched it after I hear what happened.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it.
What's the
Spoiler
point?
alerts. Oh my God.
All right, we're going to go to the last bit of this round. We'll go to Kerry one more time. What psychic service were you calling if you dialed 1-900-370-6303?
What?
Think
what,
in the 90s.
what psychic?
Mm-hmm.
What's
There's
the
a
question
psychic
again?
service.
Psychic
What
service.
psychic service were you calling if you dialed 1-900-370-6303? See, kids don't know 900 numbers these days.
I know. It was back in the day.
Ghostbusters?
It is the Psychic Friends Network.
Psychic Friends Network.
God.
Like a
You
real
remember? And I think
Oh,
Dionne
yeah.
Warwick was a part of
Trick
that network.
question. That was a trick question.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Orfeh.
It was a trick. No, it would imply there was somebody's name. So-
Yeah, I think
The
so,
psychic
too.
service, though?
The service?
With a 900 number?
No, that because it's already a psychic hotline.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So,
Yeah, the Psychic Friends Network specifically.
All right. So, all right. We're on to Anne. Anne?
all right, Anne, come through.
All right. Anne, how many maniacs were in Natalie Merchant's band? How many maniacs?
10,000.
Yay!
Hey. All right. All right. And somebody said if there was like 9,999, that we would accept that because Natalie Merchant would have been that
Would have been the
extra.
10,000.
That's right, that's
$10.
right.
Either one,
Would have
either
been-
one, either one, we would accept it. All right.
Correct,
Let's
correct.
go ahead and do the last question of this round.
Oh boy.
All right, Orfeh. How many Oscars did Titanic win in 1998?
12.
Ooh,
So close. That's what I said last night when he
Yeah,
asked me. I'd
yeah.
say like actually 11.
11 was the answer.
Wow, come on. She gets a break.
I
Oh.
think I
for
should
that.
get. I think I
partial
should get that
point or something.
Oh,
like a
yeah.
half a point for being a half a point off.
So
For being so
close, so
close.
close. All right, let's go ahead and recap the first round. All right, so right now, Anne in a commanding lead of
Indeed.
2 points.
Woo!
2 solid points. All right. All right, so Anne,
Yeah.
you'll be heading off. Or actually, you want to keep the in order that way we have
We
it?
can start with whoever
Okay.
for round two.
All right, for round number 2, folks. All right, so we're going to start with Anne. You'll get the
Mm.
question, and then Orfeh will be next, and then Kerry will be batting cleanup for this round. All right, so guys, just to let you know, I love my wife. I love her dearly, but she cannot stop singing show tunes around the house. And when I say she sings show tunes, she sounds like Johnny Gilbert from Jeopardy when she sings them. So your job, and you get 1 point for each thing, 1 point for what the name of the song is, and 1 point for the name of the play that it's in. And these are Broadway musicals. So yes, your time to shine, ladies. Your time to shine.
We started with the really hard, weird ones and thought this will be more fun. So I'm not going to sing the songs because I cannot carry a tune to save my life, but I will be reading out the lyrics. So you'll have to get the song and the play from the lyrics
All right.
that I'm reading.
All right.
Oh,
All right. So the
God.
first question goes to Anne.
And
Can't wait.
The lyrics are, and then fire shot down from the sky in bolts, like shining blades of a knife, and it ripped right through the flesh of the children of the sun and the moon.
all right.
Either of you ladies were in that show? Because I don't think
Nope.
I was in that show.
Definitely none of us were in that show.
I can read it again if you'd like.
I don't think
It's
going
so
to help.
hard with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still got some time. Kind of talk it
Oh,
through.
great.
All right. Remember, you get 1 point for the name of the
Yeah,
song. and
I
1
know.
point-
I mean, I just have no idea what the hell we're talking about here.
Just filling in some
Again,
time,
say it
man. That's
again,
all right.
Say it again.
All right.
All right. And then fire shot down from the sky in bolts, like shining blades of a knife, and it ripped right through the flesh of the children of the sun and the moon.
Does this sound like a fun show? Anybody?
Nope.
All right.
No.
Time's ticking up. Tell 'em
Evil
what it
Dead
is.
the musical.
Right.
That's a solid guess, actually. This is Origin of Love from Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Oh, I've actually seen that show.
All right. Orfeh, you're up next.
Oh,
All right.
so excited.
Oh, but look at that soul. I tell you, the whole is a whole lot greater than the sum of his parts.
None of us were in that either, right?
No, I don't think so.
Nathan
This is
Detroit.
both a show and it was a movie.
Nathan Detroit.
Mm-mm.
Although a city.
Down, you're rocking the boat. No clue. Not a clue.
All right.
It's Funny Honey from Chicago.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't work when it's not being sung because the tunes are more familiar than the lyrics.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it makes it
That's
hard.
always
It
a
makes it
trick.
hard. It makes it hard. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if this is a fair question. If you're singing musical theater lyrics, it's a little easier for us to, rather than recite them
All right.
out of context.
Gotcha. All right, Kerry.
I don't know if I would have gotten either one of those, even if I heard them. I don't know.
I mean,
All right. This one is also both a Broadway show and a movie.
Oh.
Now, I won't
Okay.
ask you to be colorblind because if you pick the fruit, then girl, you're sure to find the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Hash brown. It's seaweed.
What's the name of the song?
I
He was in this
Run and
show.
tell that.
Yes.
Run and tell that.
2 points for Kerry.
2 points for Kerry. Good job, Kerry.
That
on
really
the
isn't
board.
fair that I was in it.
See, and the order's random.
Just
like
totally
we,
random,
You
so,
know,
all right.
so we didn't tailor it to anything like that. so.
Exactly. All right. So we're back to Anne. Get ready for your song.
All right. Second song for Anne. No bright-eyed, blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No dewy young miss who keeps resisting. All the time she keeps insisting.
The sadder but wiser girl for me, Music Man.
Yep, correct. 2
All
points for
right.
Anne.
2 points on the board.
Finally.
I'm
All
still
right.
at 0. I'm having an
No, you
amazing,
got it's
amazing time.
so much time to rally, Orfeh. So much time
Yep.
to rally. All right, here we go.
All right. This is the story we needed to write, as we kept out of sight, but no more. In a few hours, by dawn's early light, we'll be ready to fight us a war. This time we're in it to stay. Talk about seizing the day.
One more time.
This is the story we needed to write, as we kept out of sight, but no more. In a few hours, by dawn's early light, we'll be ready to fight us a war. This time we're in it to stay. Talk about seizing the day.
Hamilton.
It's not. It's Once and For All from Newsies.
Oh God. Everything about the lyrics to Newsies.
Not a Newsies fan? Oh my goodness.
Not for lyricals without anything.
I got you. I got you.
No.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we're back to Anne, I believe. Anne.
Yep. All right. We have a man's called a traitor or liberator. A rich man's a thief or philanthropist. Is one a crusader or ruthless invader? It's all in which label is able to persist.
Nope, got nothing.
Do you want to hear it again or just?
No.
Okay.
Put me out of my misery.
I got you.
That is Wonderful from Wicked.
Ah.
See, it's
all
weird
in
without the
which label is
tune.
able to persist.
Even if I'd heard it though, I don't even remember the song Wonderful. From
Yeah.
Wicked.
Wonderful. She calls me
There you go. There you go.
See, I knew
Oh.
that.
Oh, I was
yeah.
hoping Kerry to keep on going. My goodness, that was great. See, I knew I was getting. Oh, that's awesome. I was going to hear some singers. All right. And where are we at? We're at, is it?
Who am
back-
I up to? I think I got out of order.
Yes, you did. All right. Let's see. Kerry, we did Kerry, right? I think it's
No, I
Kerry's
didn't
turn.
go.
No, she
All right,
didn't
it's
go.
Carrie's
She
your
just
turn.
knew
Did
it.
not go.
All right, so Kerry. Here he is, folks, the leader of the plaque. Watch him suck up that gas.
Little Horrors, the dentist.
All right.
Carrie was
2
in that
points
one
for
too,
Kerry.
you guys.
Carrie was in that one as
was
well.
in that one too. We
All
don't start
right.
coughing up some
Shut up.
Avenue Q lyrics. We're just gonna.
I know, no, but see, we looked up the shows that you guys were in, and it wouldn't have been fair if we give you the shows that you guys were in.
But you just did.
Two things.
But
See?
you just
Yeah,
did
but the order
twice.
was random. We couldn't.
Yeah, we wanted to make it hard for you guys. All right.
All right, who's next?
All right. Looks like Orfeh.
Oh,
Orfeh,
good. I'm
this
so
is your
excited.
All right.
song. Hold on, Orfeh. Are you excited?
So excited.
Oh, I see it. All right.
All right. Trying to catch your eye from the side of the ballroom. Everybody dancing in the band's top volume. Grind to the rhythm as we wine and dine. Grab my sister and whisper, yo, this one's mine.
Head over heels?
All right. Do you need some more time? You want to read
No.
it again?
No, not at all.
All right. All right. Just checking.
All right. What is it, Carrie?
Yeah. Go ahead, Kerry.
Hamilton.
There you
Yep.
go. What's the name of the song for no points?
Oh, this one's mine. Ooh.
She's got it.
There you- All right. Well, I
I'm
like it.
helpless.
There you go.
There
See,
you
there
go,
you go.
there
See?
you go.
All right. Kudos to you. See,
I love it. And
All
then
right.
who are we missing?
it looks like it's Anne.
Okay.
Anne. All right, Anne. It's bat and cleanup. Last question of this round.
All right. I don't see you guys rating the kind of mate I'm contemplating. I'd let you watch. I would invite you, but the queens we use would not excite you. This one I think is hard.
Oh, as
But-
opposed to all the other ones. They weren't at all.
Say it again.
All right.
Okay.
I don't see you guys rating the kind of mate I'm contemplating. I'd let you watch. I would invite you, but the queens we use would not excite you.
Hold on. Let me do my read real quick. See if it rings any bells. I don't see you guys rating the kind of mate I'm contemplating. I'd let you watch. I would invite you, but the queens we use would not excite you. No? All right. Oh, what happened?
Anne,
Anne?
are you still with
Is she
us?
frozen?
Oh
Oh,
no.
something happened here.
The question just was too much.
The question broke
Can
the internet.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
you.
you.
Oh, okay.
But
fine.
you're fuzzy right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm out of the picture right now.
All right.
It's because it's a long story. Doesn't matter.
Do you have any
Um,
guesses on this one, Anne?
I don't. I'm sorry.
All right. It is from, this was my personal choice. It's
Yeah, this
one
is
night,
his fault.
one night in Bangkok chess. And it was actually
Oh,
a
I
top
love
40
chess.
hit. It was a top 40
It
hit.
is. No, yes.
And see, and you ladies are around my age, so I figured that's
No,
one
that's a
that
fair question.
the 80s babies.
I
and
saw
stuff.
It
chess
sounded
really
familiar.
super recently. So,
All right.
oh,
But see, if that was sung, it would be very easy.
yes, if I
Uh-huh.
was sung, it would be.
So.
You're right. Okay, of course.
All right.
I
so
feel like
hold on.
I'm fuzzy back.
Yeah, you're still a little bit fuzzy right
You're
there.
still fuzz.
A lot fuzzy, but okay, it's better than what I
All
had.
right.
At least we can hear you. So at least if you're
Yeah,
if
who
you're
cares?
in
It's fine. You don't need to see me.
in the room. All right, so
right.
that is the end of the musical round. What is the total score?
All
Score
right.
Master
So
Ray.
doing my tallying right now. And right now, all right. So Orfeh, it looks like shooting the moon right now. It's 0 points. And Kerry and Anne are tied with 4 points. 4 points.
Woo, woo.
All right. So here we go. So, all right. So we're going to go on to the lightning round. To the lightning round. Should we do a 3-equalizer for
No.
Orfeh? No? All right. Fine. All right. Just checking. All right. So how are we doing this?
Thanks,
We're doing the light.
Sandra. Thanks, girl. Thanks. Got your
Well,
back.
it's more like we
Got
can
your
have a
back,
question
too.
written.
Oh,
So
I
if
can do a 3-equalizer.
If you want to do a 3-equalizer,
I don't know what a
that's up to
3-equalizer
you.
is.
All right,
I
Orfeh.
don't know.
No idea
Orfeh.
what that
And
is.
I know that she knows one. All right.
It's fine.
Give me.
No.
No,
No,
you sure?
no,
All right.
keep
Let's just
going.
make sure because I have one in my
Don't
back pocket just in case.
No,
All right.
no.
So we're going to do the lightning round.
Okay.
The lightning round, you get 1 point for every question you get right. but you have to answer all these within 90 seconds. So if you don't know it, pass is what my best guess, but you get 1 point for everything that you answer correctly in the lightning round. So
these are going to be more rapid fire.
I'm not going to give you time to think. It's just like, if you know it, you know
I mean,
it.
you can take as long as you want, but answering quickly gets you the chance
The
to
most
answer more
points.
questions. So if you don't know it, then it's better to go on. We have like a whole bunch for each person.
So Orfeh, if you have a killer lightning round, you can go ahead and steal this. Just say it.
It is possible.
Everything is possible, is what I'm saying.
All right. So because Orfeh is in the last position currently, we'll let you go first in the lightning round.
Okay.
We have 3 groups of questions. Do you want group A, B, or C?
This is a multiple choice?
Yeah, this is just to
different
say
sets
which
of questions
list I'm using.
Oh my God. Then I'm going to pick the wrong group of questions. B.
Okay.
All right.
Group B, awesome.
Group B is on the table. Do you want to tally these up while I read these?
Are you reading these ones? Okay, sure.
Okay. I'll go and do. Yeah, you did a lot of singing that round. So, all right. So I'm going to tally these up. Orfeh, let me know when you're ready. Gather up all your magic to answer all these questions. You're all set?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So 90 seconds is going on the timer.
All right.
And we will start now.
All right. What famous LA landmark is heavily featured in Rebel Without a Cause?
Pass.
All right. Jennifer Lawrence won an Academy Award for Best Actress in what 2012 romantic comedy?
Silver Linings Playbook.
Boom, you're on the board. All right. Who directed Boris Karloff in the classics Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein?
Lon Chaney.
Nope, that is not correct. All right. Character Daria first appeared in what other animated series?
Pass.
What Hollywood movie star plays himself in Zombieland?
Pass.
In Risky Business, what song did Tom Cruise famously lip sync in his underwear to?
Old time rock and roll.
Boom, you got it. All right. What was Beaver Cleaver's real first name on Leave It to Beaver?
Pass.
Who was the only actor to be nominated for an Oscar for his performance in Lord of the Rings films?
I can't remember his name, but I know who he is. Pass.
All right. Who took over the role of Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight after Katie Holmes didn't return?
Pass.
All right. What song is played over the opening credits of Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't know. Pass.
All right. For which 1964 musical did Julie Andrews win the Academy Award for Best Actress?
Mary Poppins.
In what's the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time?
The Exorcist.
All right. Wrong. Both actors are played by Darren Stevens and Bewitched share this first name.
Dick.
There you go.
All right, that is the end. Time's up. You got 4 points. So everybody is tied right now.
Everybody's tied right now.
I got a whole 2 answers. I'm so proud of myself.
No, you got 4.
You got 4 total.
No, but I'm saying I only got 2 answers right.
Oh. All right. All right. So who's next on this? How we have it tallied up?
Let's do Kerry next because Anne needs to jump out and jump back in.
That's right.
So,
okay.
Did you want me to read them or did you want to read?
I kind of like the system we're working. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, that's totally fine.
You're good with math. Kerry, are you good with math?
I'm okay with math. I'm not good with trivia.
All right. So do you want group A or group C?
I'll do A.
All right. You get group A questions. All right. So I'm going to let you. Hey, Anna, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but obviously my picture has not improved
I
at all.
know. We still miss you.
Sorry.
All right. All right. Kerry, are you ready? Are you ready, Kerry? Oh, can you hear me?
Is it frozen?
No.
All right.
Kerry frozen for everybody?
No, I can hear you.
All right. You can hear me?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh.
All right. You can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's get it. All right. 3, 2, 1. What are the dying words of Charles Foster Kane and Citizen Kane?
Pass.
What does Michael Scott eat for lunch on The Office that makes him fall asleep?
Pass.
Toot Sweets is a song about from which musical?
Catch Me If You Can.
No.
No.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Who played Miss Robinson in The Graduate?
What?
Who played Miss Robinson
in The Graduate?
There you go. You got a point. What was the first feature-length animated film ever released?
First Feature. Wait, what?
What was the first feature-length animated film ever released?
Snow White?
That is correct.
Ah,
All right. What is the name? What was the movie Tom Hanks scored his first Oscar Academy Award nomination?
Oh, is it Philadelphia?
No, Big. What was the name of Negan's bat on The Walking Dead?
Pass.
That was Lucille. In 1927 musical was the first talkie.
What 1927 musical was the first talkie?
Yes.
You're going in. I can't hear you that well. I'm gonna pass.
All right.
Oh
The
wait,
jazz
Singing in
singer.
the Rain. No, it's not Singing in the Rain.
All right. What
Oh, it's
flavor
not Singing in the Rain.
Pop-Tarts does Buddy the Elf use in his spaghetti?
Oh, Pop Tarts, strawberry.
No, chocolate. What pop vocal group performs at the end of The Wedding and Bridesmaids?
Oh, pass.
All right. Who played juror number 8 in 12 Angry Men?
Pass.
And that's time.
That's time. All right.
All right, Kerry got 2 in the lightning round, so that puts Kerry at 6 points, Orfeh at 4,
All
and
right.
Anne at 4. So Anne has Group B for this lightning round.
Group
No,
B for
Kerry
the
had Group B.
No, she
No,
had Group A.
Orfeh
She had
had
I had
Group
Group
B.
B.
Oh, Orfeh had B, so you have
All right.
C then.
All right. So Group C. Give me 1 second while I get my list ready here. Kind of lost it. All right. All right. 1 second. Go ahead and fill some time in.
All right, his phone did a thing. So did you need me to pull it up?
Yeah. Do you have
I
it?
have it. Yeah. It's Group C that we're going with, right?
All right. Group C. All right. Anne,
Let
can
me
you
know
hear
when
me?
you're ready.
I can.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. What famous composer wrote the music for Tim Burton's 1989 film Batman?
Hmm.
All right.
Danny Elfman.
That is correct. All right. What is the highest grossing foreign language film at the U.S. box office?
Ever?
That is
Mhm.
correct.
God. Parasite?
No, Passion of the Christ. Who wrote the screenplay for Rocky?
Sylvester Stallone.
Correct. All right. What national monument does Cary Grant climb in the final moments of North by Northwest?
In South Dakota, it's what is that called? Mount Rushmore.
That is correct. What did Bayside Gang hang out and grab a burger on Saved by the Bell?
I don't even understand any of those parts.
Where did they hang out and eat a burger at Saved by the Bell?
Good burger.
No, the Max. What was Quentin Tarantino's first feature film as a writer and director?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh no, Reservoir Dogs.
Oh.
Who was the only person ever to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in a Star Wars movie?
Sir Alec Guinness.
That is correct. What was the name of the courtesan played by Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge?
Satine.
That is correct. In what 1950 drama does Betty Davis say, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's going to be a bumpy ride"?
All About Eve.
That is correct. Danny Tanner and Aunt Becky worked together at what talk show on Full House?
Good Morning Full House. I have
No, close. Wake up San
And
Francisco.
that's time.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. How did it all end up?
All right.
Wow.
She cleaned it up, man.
I know. Anne did great in that lightning round. So we
Yeah.
have the total scores overall. We have Orfeh with 4. We have Kerry with 6. And we have Anne with, I have to do math, 10.
Wow. Congratulations. Anne
so Anne
is our
is
winner.
the winner today.
Anne
Congratulations.
is our winner. Congratulations.
Woo.
And
Who
thank
had
you.
me? Did anybody
Thank-
have me? Do they win anything?
They get this. They get this. And our
Oh, great,
approval. Thank
great.
you, ladies. Thank you so much for it. And I know things are going on in the world, but is there anything that you can talk about that you want to promote or anything else, or any kind of saying that you want to say before we close out this trivia thing? Or Faye, you can lead off.
Let people know where to find you on social media if you want, or any projects that you have in the works, whatever that you
Oh,
can
okay.
talk about that are
Yeah,
not
you can
struck.
find me at Orfeh on Instagram, at official_Orfeh on TikTok. And we're doing a nice concert at the PAC Center in New York City on December 23rd. Get your tickets. They're going quick.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
everyone,
Thank you,
yeah.
Orfeh.
Yep.
Thank you. And Kerry Butler, is there anything, your handle or anything?
Yeah. I'm Kerry Butler 1 on Instagram, And I'm Kerry Butler NYC on TikTok. And Orfeh, we're doing a concert in Indianapolis. We have concerts coming up, remember?
Yay.
Oh, yes, we do. You can talk
Yay.
about that. Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Yes. We have
yeah, they're coming up soon. I feel like yours is coming up like the end of September and mine's coming
September
up in October.
14th. September
Yeah.
14th. When's yours?
October 3rd, maybe something like that.
The
Commons,
Philharmonic.
if anyone is in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yes, go on out for a great show, I'm sure. Will. And please, everybody, one more time, clap it up for our champion.
Our winner.
Thank you.
Woo, Ann!
Congratulations. And just cleaning up in that lightning round is, do you want to give your handle or anything else that you can promote?
Yes. On Instagram, I am Ann Harada. Twitter, Ann Harada. Facebook, Ann Harada. And just please watch Schmigadoon on Apple TV Plus.
Yay.
That's
All
really
right,
it, man.
great show, and you're great in it. Ladies, thank you once again. My name is Ray Martinez, and this is...
My name is Sandra Ruth. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for having us on and letting us do this. I don't know, Ryan, do you want to pop back in and say hello and send us off?
Look at Ryan. Look at him go. Oh, no.
I think you're muted. You're muted,
Cannot
Ryan.
hear him at all.
Oh gosh, man!
There
I,
he is. That's
I had to
okay.
mute myself this whole time. Anyway, hello there. Great to see you all. This was a blast. Man, those questions were good. There's some good ones. I knew the Mount Rushmore. I knew Alec Guinness because I'm Star Warsian, if you can't tell. Great questions. Bottom line, great questions. Man, the show tunes, I can't speak that language at all. I don't care to. But I respect people that do. It's not my bag, baby. No. So, but this was fun. All of you did a great job. It was great to see everyone here. It was great to have you host this trivia competition. Ray and Sandra, this was so much fun. And the last update I got as far as fundraising efforts, we're at $585 to
Awesome.
One Simple Wish. Thank you all. Yes, give yourself a round of applause. Yeah.
Yay.
That is supercilious cala something
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Thank you. I can't speak the language, nor do I care to. But we're that far into the fundraising efforts. If you wish to make a donation, you can so by the link that's currently scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's also located within the description below. And my gosh, what a way to end the TGIF. Speaking of TGIF, man, I was a full houseian all.
So did you know the order that they came out in then?
No, I would have lost terribly because I didn't watch Step by Step. I never really did. I watched, what was the other one? Family Matters. Like, I saw some of that. Not a big Urkel fan, but I get it. And then Boy Meets World, I actually just started watching that recently because I didn't watch it growing up. I didn't. I missed out.
Wow. So I was a big
missed
Boy Meets
all
World
7
fan. I'm
years
actually
of
watching
that,
along
all of it.
again with Pod Meets World. They have the podcast, like the rewatch one. So I've been watching along with them. It's been fun.
I heard about that. And they're also doing a tour. They're going around the country and doing live episodes at certain areas. One of them is going to be in Durham, North Carolina, which is only an hour and change from me because I'm in Greensboro, North Kakalaki, for those of you keeping score at home. So, this was great. I think this Friday night of programming was wonderful. We had talking about some of the stuff we're doing this weekend. We had Darren Kurtz talking about his Snyderverse book and what went down between Zack Snyder and DC and the DC Cinematic Universe that could have been. Give Henry Cavill his trilogy, but it never happened.
If only. If only. You see, we're big Superman fans. Like,
well, I'm just saying, I got a shirt back here. You got your Man of Steel behind you there, which, by the way, I'm a little jello of that. I want that too.
It's real good.
It's such a criminally underrated film. It's so underrated, that movie. Oh, so good. Anyway, what do I know? This was great, guys. I'm happy that we did this because Friday night was great. But guess what we got in store for you tomorrow? You want to hear what we got? I'll tell you what we got because Otherworldly Fundraising continues on Saturday and Sunday, September 9th and the 10th, respectively. We're going to start things off at 12 p.m. Eastern time. For those of you in the Eastern time zone, I'm an East Coaster. What are you going to do? We got Phil Morris is going to be on with us at 12 p.m.
Nice.
to kick us off. And I wish I could ask him some certain questions, but due to what's going on in Tinseltown, we really can't. But we're going to respect that. But we got Phil Morris, we got Guy Gilchrist, we got Trina Robbins, we have, oh my gosh, who else do we not have? Got John Shea is going to be joining us on Sunday. So it's a plethora of superstars out there that are going to be joining us. If you want to know more, check out our website. It's located in the description below. Also, we got the schedule posted in each respective video that tells you who's going to be on at which hour during certain days. So, other words, I'm going to sound like a TV guide here, but check your local listings.
There you go.
That's what I'm going to say, because I grew up watching TV guides. So there goes my
Same.
man points. But listen, guys, I wish you both, all of you, all 5 of you superstars here, the best, because you are some entertaining folks. You know, I could hang out with these 5 all night if we had the time, but we don't.
No. All right.
But I wish you all the best. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you once again, everybody.
I think all of you are great. You're all just so money. You just don't even know it. I think you're fair, man. You're so money. But have a good one, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right,
Take care.
thank you so
Everybody.
much.
Bye.
Yeah,
This was
see ya.
fun.
Bye.
Good one, guys. Enjoy your evening. Be safe out there. Don't have too much fun, because otherwise we may not be able to bring you back for next time. I'm just saying. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude tonight's festivities. So I appreciate you all being here. This has been so much fun. Otherworldly Fundraising 2023 is just getting started. Once again, we're going to kick things off tomorrow on Saturday, September 9th, I should say, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time with the great Phil Morris. We are going to be taking questions throughout the day for each and every one of our guests, whoever's moderating the panels. They'll be taking the guests. They'll be taking the comments. However, we are respecting what's going on in Tinseltown with SAG-AFTRA and WGA. So we're going to try to think outside the box, do some questions that you may not hear at panels at certain events and certain venues. So be thinking about those questions and ask our guests when they appear on Otherworldly Fundraising on both Saturday and Sunday. Once again, the links are located in the description below, and they're also located on our Facebook page. So make sure you're following us there and across all forms of social media. Make a donation to this wonderful cause that we are doing this for. One simple wish. Every $10 or more gets you entered into a sweepstakes to win some fantastic prizes. Man, that trivia contest was something. Whoo! It was jet fly, limousine ride. Well, you know the rest. So in the meantime, to all of you out there, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy this weekend. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring that bell so you get notified of when the videos go live on each respective day. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Phenomena. Take care, everybody.